Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good evening and welcome to ESEA Invite Season 26 Grand Finals on Team Fortress TV. At the start of the season, 9 teams set out to prove they were the best in NA, and now only 2 remain. It's Froyotech versus SVIFT NA. My name is Cornpop, and I'll be your caster tonight alongside Marxist as my co-caster and console on production. Joining us, we've also got a panel of Invite's best who didn't quite make it to Grand Finals, consisting of Paddie and Sandblast from Ascent, and Jarrett and Marmaloo from Velocity Esports. We'll get to them in a second because I'm sure they got a lot to say before this match starts. But first, Marxist, let's introduce these teams. Check out the players who are going to be battling out tonight.
All right. Well, they should be no strangers, at least on one side, to anybody who's watched TF2 over the last several years. So on the one side, the heavy favorites, Froyo, Shade on Medic, Habib on Demo, Blaze and Psyguy are Soldiers, Roamer, and Pocket respectively. Benny and Eric are your scouts.
And over on the other side, SVIFT NA, the new challengers taking on Froyotech in the Grand Finals this year. It is Slumnish and High Five on their scouts. Marmaduke Grills is their pocket soldier. Garbuglio is up on Roamer. Delpo is their demo man, and former Froyotech player 404 is their medic. And now I think we can throw it over to the analyst guys because we should be getting live pretty soon here. It's already 5 players in the server, so take it away, boys.
Honestly, in this matchup, I mean, if you've been watching TF2 for a while, you'd know going into this grand final that Froyo are definitely going to be the favorites. Swift is a good team, but Froyo has proven time and time again that they're definitely one of the more dominant teams. They're actually the dominant team in North America right now. So if Swift really want to be able to take a win here in the best of 3, actually the 2 best of 3s that they would need to win because they're coming from the lower bracket, they're really going to need to pull out all the stops. Like every single thing that they've been potentially holding back or any new idea they can think of, they got to throw it out here tonight if they want to take away the win, I think.
Another little thing to add on for both these teams, they both have 2 different pretty play styles. Froyo being more controlled and more organized versus Swift rather, being much more aggressive, like thriving in more DM styled fights and much more unorganized stuff like that Froyo might not be used to, which is something to look out for, and they might be able to win a couple more fights because they might have that advantage when it comes to DM and stuff like that, if they're able to overwhelm Froyo, if they're not able to be prepared for what Swift is going to be able to throw at them.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the big thing, in my opinion, here. It's just, I think their styles are sort of very contrasting, and, Swift is just a very aggressive team, and a lot of the fights they're going to win are going to come down to them just out-DMing, Delpo hits 2 crazy pipes. I mean, the guy's DM is absolutely insane, and he's definitely, like, a huge anchor for Swift, and, so I really think that, like, the fights they do win are going to come down to, like, engagements like that, like Blaze jumps in the middle of a 6v6 fight and just gets 2 pipes because that's what Delpo does. And so, but overall, I really think that Froyo is just, like, a more controlled team that is going to just kind of whittle away at Swift and prevent those engagements from even existing in the first place. So, yeah.
First, just have a chance. Their soldiers really need to step up. A lot of times they lose. Their soldiers are just tanking the numbers, and they're just getting destroyed. They need to really pull it together. Swift's gonna probably pull out a bunch of like random Garbuglio spies, try and get on Shade. Maybe try and get a drop, cause some chaos, but they really need to try and win a few mids to at least get the ball rolling.
Especially on process, because we're going into this first map, and Froyo's, they're fine at process, but process isn't really Swift's forte. For the most part, it's definitely not a map that they're probably going to enjoy playing, just because it's not really their best. So I feel like they're gonna struggle more than they usually would, and just like a paper matchup versus these 2 teams for this like beginner map or beginning map in particular.
I personally think like process is probably going to be like the 3 maps in this in the first round. I think it's process, Gully, and metal, if I'm not mistaken. I think process is probably going to be Swift's chance, in my opinion, to take Froyo down, just because like what Patty was saying, they're 2 contrasting playstyles. If Swift's able to try and do something that Froyo's not used to, they're going to have a much better chance than I think on Gullywash personally. And also, this map is played, or everyone knows how to play this map. This map is, everyone loves process. It's like the new Badlands in a sense where everyone used to only play Badlands, or everyone loved Badlands. I think I kind of shifted over to process. So even though like Swift might try to try some aggressive stuff, or Froyo might try to slow the game down and play a little more passive and try to control the game. I still think that Swift still has a pretty good shot at making Froyo play at their pace, depending on how they choose to play process.
That's interesting that you say that you think process is their better chance. I actually would say that I personally disagree. I think process probably lends itself well more to Froyo's style, in my opinion. Just because like the maps are really choky,
Yeah.
and like pushing mid especially. In my experience, especially like Marmaloo bringing up the soldiers, like pushing mid is on this map at the highest level is one of the hardest things to do, because you have to really coordinate on like pressuring out the demo so that your team can get in clean. Otherwise you're going to pop through early and they're always going to have a better Uber than you 90% of the time. This is just me personally, I do think that Gully is probably going to be their best chance. It's like Swift's best map in my complete honest opinion, regardless of how good Froyo is on it just by themselves. But Swift, I know their best map is Gully, without a doubt in my mind. So I think that process honestly will likely go very heavily in Froyo's favor, just because it's too easy to just play spam in every choke on this map, and the last is really easy to kite across from the left to the right side. So I really think that it's going to go heavily in Froyo's favor for the first map, with Gully being like, they have to win Gully. And then after winning Gully, they have to win Metal. Personally, and I think Metal could be a toss-up, in my opinion. But yeah.
Well, SVIFT, they have a tendency, I don't know, if tilt or kind of get off their game if they start losing heavily. So if they really want to win, they're going to have to try and keep a little bit of their mental game up a bit after. I'm thinking they're going to lose, but maybe a surprise. They really need to win Gully. They had a really close match, but lost to Froyo in the regular season. They can definitely pull it out if they can all do well and maybe shut down Blaze, because Blaze has been lacking in logs recently, and he's been the one player that's been really negative a lot of times, so they can shut him down. Maybe they can start an opening.
I know Swift has been trying to do more they've been trying to do more plays recently, I think, just from seeing them in this playoff run and then some of the last matches they played in the regular season. They used to like kind of play like more on the cookie cutter side, I think, but now I think we've been seeing like a little bit more crits, a little bit more sniper, a little bit more spy, a little bit more unlocks that aren't like medic related, like banner and stuff like that. So that'll probably elevate them a little bit, I think, on this map, because like as people said before, Froyo, they've been sitting pretty for most of the season. Sometimes they don't really necessarily get tons of practice based on the schedule that they play on, because I mean they don't necessarily need to a lot of the time, but anything that Swift might be able to do to throw Froyo off can definitely help them in this. I kind of feel like that can probably get them like maybe like a round or two for this map. That's like my prediction, but past that, I don't really see very much happening going their way. So that's my prediction, at least. It's probably like 5-2-ish, 5-1.
I think they might be able to squeak out 3 rounds. This is still going to be a map favorite for Froyo, but I still think maybe somehow they're going to be able to pull out at least 3 rounds. And I know Swift has something that they may have been hiding, but I want to see them pull out at least 3 rounds. Then hopefully on Gullywash, they can hopefully take that map when we see a game 3.
What do you think, Paddie? Score-wise?
Okay, I think first map is probably going to be like a 5-1 for Froyo, or 5-2. I'm probably with you on that. I'd say 5-1 more than 5-2. Like I really think it's going to be heavily for Froyo. I think Froyo's going to win a lot of the mids, and it's just going to be like mid to last, mid to last, mid to last. And then maybe Swift on the off chance might win 1 or 2 mids, and then same thing, mid to last. I think that's pretty much what it's going to come down to. In terms of goalie, goalie's really a toss-up. I think Swift can win it. 5-3, 5-4, most likely. Because it is their map, and I think that like They'll probably take it. They're really strong there, so I'd say like they could win 5-3, or even I think goalie is one of those maps that could straight up just run out of time. Like it'll be like a 4-3 scoreline or something like that at the end of it, because I think that game is just going to be really intense. And metal, metal's just a complete toss up for me. I think either of those teams could kind of take that map. It kind of comes down to what Habib and Delpo both do on metal, so I'll have to see.
One thing to talk about is 4-4 plays really baity. So when they're coming through chokes, if Froyo can focus down all the other players besides them, they can just have not even an existent Uber if they just wipe their team before he gets in. Garbuglio does pretty one-dimensional bomb sacks, like when they're pushing in with Uberad, trying to get force, and those just get shut down and just looked at. They're gonna have a rough time forcing their Uber while they're pushing.
Alright, I think that's pretty much it from us so far. Just gotta wait for them to get in the server. I think we said our piece on how we feel about process.
All right, well, thanks, guys. Interesting stuff coming up in this first map. You guys are leaning more towards froyotech for this one. Interesting, Marx. I want to hear your opinion as well. Do you have a prediction for this match and this game in general?
I would mostly agree with them on the prospect of process being a 5-1. I am happy in Marmaduke's rise here. He was, I want to talk about him just for a second. Alright, so Marmaduke Grills was not on an invite team at the start of this season, which was a travesty. And now he's on SVIFT, and they beat Ascent last week, and here we are in the finals. The third place team coming on up, taking second right now. I should also note, if you're a new viewer here, that should a miracle occur and SVIFT win 2 of these games, which would be one of the craziest things to ever happen, then we'll have another series best of 3 after that. And I think at that point, Cornpop, you and me would be playing the no sleep Olympics.
My favorite Olympics to have, especially I've got an exam in the morning, but you know what? Who cares about that? TF2 is life. We don't care anything else on this stream, at least. But we are going to be going live very shortly here. There's 10 players in the server, so we're just waiting for the last couple guys to join up. And then we'll be going live. We're not stalling things out for you guys. We don't decide when the game starts. It's all on the players. So as soon as it goes live, we will be casting that action. I would probably agree with what everybody else has been saying. I think we should give a little more hope for SVIFT. I mean, they've made the grand finals. They're here on this first map on process. They didn't insta-ban it. The way the pick and bans work is each team does get to ban one map before the picks end up happening, and then there's some more bans, and they ban out to the final map. So SVIFT can't be that uncomfortable on this map. You would hope, as the second best team, at the very least, team in North America, they would be prepared for anything. But you know, I have heard that this is one of their weaker maps, and that's no doubt why froyotech decided to pick it. But yeah, going live, it should be good. I do want to mention really quick that open grand finals are happening right now over on TFTV2. That's Tambo, Use, and Nice are covering that. So if you're bored of watching invite grand finals, or if our game ends very early, you can go check that one out over on twitch.tv/teamfortress.tv2.
All right, and I am getting hot news.
Ooh.
That the reason there is a holdup is that Shade is having some kind of in-game problem and is trying to correct it, and that's why he has. If you've, well, we normally don't show the stream, the chat to the stream, but Shade has been joining and leaving the server over and over again, and usually that's a sign that something is wrong. But yeah, so hopefully he gets it sorted out. Shade, at this point, the best medic that we've ever seen in North America. At one time, I wouldn't have said that, but now he has 14 seasons over the other choice. So, yeah, with experience comes certain knowledge, I suppose. But we'll see. Hopefully they get it sorted and we can get going here on our invite grand finals. No, he has left again. So the Shade Watch 2017 will be what we play right now. I mean, he must take it pretty seriously, because normally medic and FPS isn't, I wouldn't put that way super high on my list of things you need.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things. Yeah, how serious are Froyotech in general going to be taking this match? It is great. It is invite grand finals. You know, it should be a big deal. There's a lot of money on the line, but at the end of the day, Froyotech is heavily favored to win this. They beat Swift both times in the regular season. This is Froyotech's strongest season ever. If you go just by the stats in the regular season, they only dropped like 8 rounds the entire season, breaking the ESEA invite record of most successful regular seasons. So it's been a very dominant season for them so far. Swift also a very new team. Of course, these players have been playing for a long time, but at least the organization, Swift, is their first season in NA. And it's the first time that these guys have made grand finals, at least I think for most of them. Usually it's kind of Froyotech and Ascent, or whatever form Ascent has taken on that season in grand finals, but this is the first time in over 9 seasons that Ascent haven't made grand finals. So with Swift getting in here now, a lot of them don't have that experience. It could be kind of a rattling time for them. So we'll see if that affects them at all. But there's 11 players in the server. We're almost there, Marxist.
Yeah, Slemnish does have quite a bit of finals experience. I would say actually out of all the players on Swift, it's him. Marmaduke's the only one. I don't know that Marm ever made a finals. I'm racking my brain right now to try to remember if he did or not. We'll go with I don't think so. So really, it's only Slemnish, right? Maybe I don't think
right? 4-4
well, yeah, 4-4 was on Froyo, yeah, but he doesn't count. He's just a medic. And now I will take us back. The other perfect season of TF2 that is near and dear to my heart. The reason that season is inferior to this one is that Mix-Up lost 12 rounds over the course of the season. That includes the finals. So Froyo could still blow it here and be inferior to Mix-Up if they end up losing 5 or 6 rounds in total. That'll bring them over the top. And interestingly enough, that series ended on process with Shade dropping Uber while trying to Uber out of IT onto mid and was dropped by a sticky trap. So will we see the Achilles heel come out again? Or is that so long ago in the past that I may be the only person that remembers it?
Well, Froyotech's had such a dominant season, not only in the regular season where they only dropped 8 rounds, but I just looked up the numbers now. In the postseason, in the playoffs now, Froyotech has only lost 2 rounds in 2 games, which is best of 3 each. So 4 matches that they played, they lost 1 round to Velocity, 1 round to Ascent. But I'm seeing some text on my screen, Marxist, which you know what that means. We're going live. It's ESEA Invite Season 26 Grand Finals.
Yep, the last match of the season here, and the last TF2 of 2017 in NA for the most part, unless the open finals go longer, we'll see. Now, I do want to point out, not to steal your thunder straight off bat, but we are looking at a crits for Shade. He's keeping up his crits to mid to begin the game.
Absolutely, something he's been doing all season long, just as a confidence thing, really. But Delpo beating Habib pretty solidly to the middle point here, getting that pack pretty early, and Habib just now getting his. So we'll see how this first mid fight rolls out. Very important one. Saga getting some early high ground, nobody committing. Blaze getting pretty aggressive on this right hand side, and Eric running across that point. He's gonna find the frag and a high 5. That's the first one. Garbulu with trying to bomb. Also gonna get taken down with 4 players left alive on Swift. They're gonna be backing off the second, playing this a little more conservatively. Smart play by them.
Yeah, when a team plays as passively as Froyo did there, you either have to go into them hard and all at once, or don't go and play passive, and Swift got kind of divided. As our analyst said, they're not the most coordinated team that ever played, but here comes the crits. It's gonna get 1 victim, but no additional victims. High 5 will die elsewhere. That puts them 2 down, but 4-4 still has the Uber, which is plenty fine, really. I have 4 Ubered guys against no Ubered guys, well, usually the last. So we may see the push out attempt here, and that's going to get dicey because Slemnish just died. And if they delay here until Slemnish gets back, by the time Marmaduke is out doing the Uber push, Shade will have crits, and that puts SVIFT in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if they want to just maybe play passive, but they are walking this left side, so I don't think that's what they're going to be doing. Forward on to Marmaduke and Slemnish with his Uber Charge, getting as far deep as they can. The beat going down very early, that's nice. There's no demo man for this crit if it comes out after. Shade's not going to die in this one, though, so he's going to be getting that right now. He has it, he's running forward with 2 scouts. They're trying to get some frags, and the high five's eating a lot of damage, does end up going down. They're just running forward with Banny into the shutter door, but they lost so many players already, and it's only Eric left alive. The soldiers on Swift got so many frag in that crits creep. They went so aggressively, and it did not pay off for them. They didn't get the frag on a 4-4, and everybody died except for Eric, because Weaving was way back through choke. Good fight by Swift. They're going to end up taking this mini Spire.
Yeah, the kiss of death there was... I was all prepared for my pre-canned speech about when you pop Uber pushing out of last, because it didn't look like Marm was going to get anything, and they got Habib, which is all you really need. The Froyo is trying to come back in here, bully their way through, as it were, but it is not working. They are stopped at choke. SVIFT pulls out the Gandalf phrase and says, "You shall not pass."
It's actually really exciting because they're going to get the frag on a Habib as well as they run into this middle point. You know, they're taking froyotech's arrogance, they're totally switching around on them. They're saying they're not going to get thrown around in this grand finals. This has been a very strong start for them. For a map that our analysts hyped up is the worst map, they're going to lose 5-0, 5-1. Swift are now pushing in second. They're going to be able to cap this fairly easily, and look how much damage Shade just took. He's going to be fine getting back to last, but 4-4 is at 100% Uber charge, and they're almost ready to push into last.
Yep, and if you're a Shadeologist, he is on Uber here, so
Ooh.
he is now in the serious zone, or at least as serious zone as Shade gets these days. Banny and Eric are off-classing. You have the 7th player is deployed on the teenager level, and Eric is hanging around on the sniper class. Let's see, he is pressed way up, and he's going to get Garbuglio. And now he's going to go for the peak of his life, along with the suicide. Blaze will go down. Nothing doing for Eric. That was, I like that play out of Froyo there. You may as well risk your Eric along with the sack there when you have a 7th player.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been crazy if they would have got something, and they didn't lose anything either, so all fine for them. There's just some sacks in, maybe not sacks from Garbuglio, but he was looking to get that earlier. Slemnish is going to be switching off, and he's playing that sniper class now. So that's the play from Swift. They're going to try to take this slow, work their way in. They're going to hedge their bets. Slemnish versus Eric. Eric has switched off the spy, so they're going to be checking to see that that enemy sniper is there. And Eric's going to come back onto the field with that more knowledge against Slemnish. So he's going to know this is a thing. I assume he's not going to actually leave spawn, but he could. He's still just jumping around.
Yeah, that's partly why I say defensive sniper tends to have the advantage. Because in this scenario, there are only so many doors to sniper and they can be spammed. And right now, really all he's got is to shoot at Banny's gun. They do kill it, though. So that is a bit of success. Garbuglio's getting pretty low, but I mean, that's an acceptable loss at this point. 404 finds out why you don't stand against that wall as he gets pretty beat up. But, oh, Eric's going to take the headshot. But no death, being tanked by 404. 404 still quite low as a result of the all the spam coming against that wall. This is a nice safe spot for med, but it's not safe when it can be spammed at that angle by a soldier, because you will eventually just die to spam. It's kind of a shame for Froyo that they didn't rotate over and take more advantage of that. But Delpo's gonna pipe out Blaze, and we'll see what they decide to do here. They may try to go for more aggressive peaks. Take it slow. Yeah, they're going to go for a sack here, and Shotgun's going to take out Garbuglio, and that'll be that for now, I think.
Yeah, it's good and interesting play by froyotech. They're going to throw somebody in. All fine by them. Banny's kind of peeking forward now, but I don't know what he's doing. He's going to back off, setting against it. So froyotech's kind of taking an interesting aggressive position, controlling this lobby that Swift were in control of earlier, and Sai's just sort of standing right here. Slemnish eats a lot of damage and perfectly timed. Almost, it looks like the soldier Saigai almost got that final damage on a Slemnish, but not quite. And again, they just have to get pushed forward, back and back. Eric does eat the body shot though, and he's gonna go down to Slemnish. So that's the sniper duel won by Slem. Now, what are they gonna do with this sniper advantage? They're gonna be pushing him through rollout, it seems, with Slemnish. He gets spammed out. Garbuglio's in though, and oh, Shade got so low, 7 HP and doesn't pop it. Banny takes down the bombing soldier. That's guts. That takes some guts.
Yeah, and what baffles me after that is the bomb in from Garbuglio. He had to be yelling like crazy, and that is generally not a bad time to pop the Uber. But they did not do it, but Habib dies early again. And this may spell the end for Froyo here. Ubers were never exchanged in that. They used Habib as sort of their pushing mechanism, their wedge. And High Five will end up going down, but that essentially you trade Habib for High Five, and I'd take that trade every day of the week. Eric, though, checking for off classes. Actually, he's out running around. So Froyo want to get off this last Cornpop. They're going for the big plays.
Interesting. Oh, no, Eric.
A soldier went down to get the ammo while he was hiding there. Pro tip, if you're ever going to try to play Spy, don't stand on ammo packs.
Oh, Slemnish, though, watch him. He's about to have a clear shot on his shade, and he doesn't hit it, though. Still poking through, trying to get some more shots off. I think he hit the body shot, but not quite enough. He got a very aggressive, and nobody on froyotech was watching that one door, so he almost completely ended this round for froyotech, but not gonna happen. Shade keeping his life today, counting his lucky stars. Saigai is in on rollout, got a lot of damage down onto Garbuglio, but not quite enough to finish off the frag, so still we see them just running around, and it looks like Eric hasn't given up on the Spy game. He's managed to work his way in behind now, so we'll see if we can pull any sneaky shenanigans off on this class.
Yeah, we'll see. They'll never expect it twice. And I do have to say, I say this every time this comes up in a LAN final, but you know, you always get in scrims people saying, "Whoa, you got close." No go. You always get the people who say, is this the LAN finals?" Well, yeah, it is actually in this case. So, well, not LAN, but ESEA invite. So same thing as it was in the past, and they're gonna be as careful as possible. But the big play, Froyo is pinching lobby really well. And SVIFT is not dealing with it particularly well.
That's a classic example of a little mistake Swift make, and froyotech capitalize it perfectly to get those two quick frags. Now Blaze actually goes in, dies to Delpo, so this could be a little questionable for froyotech's push out, but they get the frag on Garbuglio, so countering that. We'll see if 4-4 ends up popping in this exchange, or if Shade does it for that matter. Shade is going to pop, Uber charges are getting exchanged right as Saigai goes down. So again, no pocket soldier on the side of froyotech. That's going to help Swift a lot. They're going to be able to hold on to the Spire point. They aren't going to lose it, but we'll see if they want to the last. They have a couple scouts in, so they almost look like they want to take this fight. They get a frag on Eric. They're definitely going for this. Got some time on point. Blaze now taking a lot of damage. Bombed on by Garbuglio, and everybody on froyotech's dying. Swift are going to take the first round, and nobody expected that, Marxist.
I just want to say, Marmaduke Girls killed both scouts with a little bit of spam help from his friends, and then killed Habib. You can ask for no more from a soldier on a last push.
We'll see how it continues to translate into this next round, where froyotech won that first mid. We'll see if they can pull off the same thing this time, if they can actually translate that into a round. Delpo, once again, a bit faster than Habib, but took a little bit of early damage. Nobody down just yet. Watch out, Garbuglio is taking quite a bit, and Blaze with a big bomb gets him, and Marmaduke grows very, very low, and Saigai follows up onto Marmaduke. Blaze the only one going down yet, and now it could be a little bit poor positioning from the rest of Swift. 4-4 and Slemnish, the only people left alive, and 4-4 is all alone. There's no way he makes it out. He's got that Uber Saw, but that's not going to happen for him, and Slemnish is still just hiding over on middle. He's going to be going for that back cap.
Yeah, well, both scouts, unfortunately for him, both scouts are back here, but he beats one. Slemnish, and his health is actually still pretty good. He's running around. He's going to get the kid over in sewer, and Banny is on pursuit. So is Blaze and Saigai, and I don't think Slem will survive here. No, he'll be focused down by like the whole team of Froyo pretty much, which is a shame because SVIFT could have done something to Shade there. There was only one player with him, but now they're going to come out of IT to second. The Uber is already pretty crap, but Garbuglio will die defending the door, and they'll end up without Slemnish respawning in time. So I don't think they're going to be able to push out here. They do have Uber advantage, though, and the last time they pushed out, it did go pretty well.
Yeah, it's a pretty big advantage, about 40%, so Swift could definitely get onto the second point with it and maybe roll that into another round. We'll see. Their mids haven't been going too great, but it seems like when they can turn things around, get the momentum back in their favor, they have been able to translate that into rounds. Saigai's eating some spam, and they're going to do the same push they did last time, forward with Slemnish, but this time they're getting a little more juggled, and they're not getting these early frags they got last time. They get Saigai, who's pretty aggressive, a little bit caught in. Slemnish finds that frag on him, but the rest of froyotech are getting out safe onto middle, and that's going to be really bad for Swift, because now Shade can just pop in and second point right back from them.
Well, and in Shade's, they're setting up for the slow push here out of Ice Store. And so their objective here is not to pop at all. And it doesn't look like anything from SVIFT is going to even attempt to make them. So now they're running it hard on this left door. There isn't really anything set up here. High Five's trying to be engineer for like a second. Garbuglio comes out here. He's brought the Natasha. He's going to fall pretty quickly, but it did delay it a little bit. The health is okay for SVIFT. They're still fighting it out. High Five is going to fall here. But Froyo doesn't have really any ammo right now. If they can hold on just a little bit more. The Uber has popped off. Eric's going to die. Shade is stuck in and he's going to go down to Marmaduke. And there we go. So that was almost called the perfection.
Wow, I can't believe froyotech managed to fail that. I mean, they had such a big advantage going to that last push, but SVIFT, excellent job being able to hold on to their last point. Now this is that momentum shift they were looking for. It's only about a 20% Uber advantage for 404, and we'll see how that building goes. Assuming Shade didn't respawn on crits, that's going to be about 20% the whole time. So SVIFT can control that second point. Probably won't be able to transfer that into the middle point, but we'll see how it goes. Excellent job by them to hold on, and I thought they had lost it, honestly, Marxist. As soon as that pop came in, I thought there was no way. SVIFT are so far back, and the pop is so good from froyotech, but I'm a little bit surprised that SVIFT are still winning in this game.
Well, all season, really, in Froyo's game, because we have seen them do a lot of this back and forth. They do not like to go for early point pressure when they have huge Uber advantage, which I can see. The old rule of thumb used to be, if you've got huge Uber advantage, just kill everyone first. And that looks to be what Vanny's go-to strategy is. But you've got to give the other team a reason to get out of the hidey hole. And they really don't do it. In the meanwhile, we've seen Ubers equalize, so it's on Froyo here to do stuff. I imagine we'll see a bomb from Blaze. But you never know. They might try the scout. I myself prefer the scout sack here. But no, it's the Blaze bomb. He gets shut down really hard, tries to escape Cornpop, but it doesn't happen.
And now we see that immediately Slemnish is on the aggression, and he actually gets a High Five gets it on Saigai, but still, great job by the scouts. Managed to get one there. That means that SVIFT can continue to work with this. Poke through on the sort of flank areas. Garbuglio and Delpo are just kind of peeking through, trying to get some spam, but the 4 froyotech players left alive are doing a good job at shutting them out, and they're gonna stall that SVIFT aggression for now. So it was almost something for SVIFT. They wanted to go with that, it seemed like, but choosing not to, choosing to hold back. Smart decision by them. Gonna play a little bit passively. They are up 1-0, so that can be expected. Eric come up on Sniper though. That's gonna be an interesting play. It's froyotech's new strategy to get into the second point.
Yeah, interestingly enough there, since both frags that SVIFT got were on soldiers, I would have pushed there. The reason why is because when a soldier comes to the point, so he's going to go to choke or IT, they have to rocket to do that, so they don't have crits heals. And that's all the more I would have gone off of there, but they, because Shade would have never been able to heal any soldiers really during the Uber exchange. Which could have been an interesting fight, but SVIFT thought better of it. They're willing to time this clock out, being in the lead.
SVIFT looking for that 1-0 half. Looks like Saigai's going to be going in for sort of a fake bomb that he did exactly the same as last time. You see that Eric Sniper is very passive compared to what maybe some people were expecting. All the way back on that crate, just standing, watching this very long sightline, and it pays off for them. Gets the snipe on a Delpo, and with that, froyotech are peeking so much more aggressively. You see Bangs poking forward, Habib as well, and this is the Blaze bomb they're looking for. Now he's in on the combo, focusing on some soldiers, but kind of gets denied. Slemnish gets the final frag onto him, and this is going pretty well, but they do lose Marmaduke Grills. Habib going down, and it looked like Saigai tried to bomb in, but they can't force 4-4 or get the frags they want to. They're down by 3 players now, and Shade is only with Banny. Eric's still up on snipers, so he's not going to be too much help if these Ubers get exchanged. SVIFT should be getting to this middle point now. They don't have their soldier, but that shouldn't matter. There's only really one fragging class, but Ben's going to get the frag on a Slemnish anyways. High Five is in and does force Shade now. So when 4-4 pops, is going to be much better. There he goes, now popping on a High Five. Delpo still aggressive, and they're trying to get the damage down onto Shade just as the charge is fading. But Eric, great headshot on a High Five. Banny going down to Garbuglio, but not going to matter too much because SVIFT are having a tough time getting this middle point. Most of froyotech have respawned, with Blaze taking so much damage. It doesn't matter because Marmaduke Grills and Delpo both go down. Marxist, why didn't that work for SVIFT?
They pushed into mid and had an Uber exchange with a team that had respawn advantage on mid. What you need to do there as SVIFT is just force shade and be happy with it and run back to second. That way, if they try to overextend on you off of what they perceive to be an advantage, because they did get all their respawns right then you get your respawns when re-pushing on second. They needed to just wait instead of pressing forward. I think they mostly they knew they had a couple picks there, more than a couple, and so they just went with it and didn't keep in mind the respawn timer. But now we are back to an even Uber situation. High five on the engineer. Sniper doesn't really affect that very much, but they're going to try to get the pick here. SVIFT has done very well on last defenses, though.
Yeah, it seems like froyotech was trying to poke in with Eric on his left-hand side. He's still up on Sniper, but he was definitely countered by Swift. So now he's over in rollout, still rotating back and forth. You know, they got some time to work with froyotech, do a lot of time still on this clock, so they're not too worried about anything. They are down by 1, so it's got to be kind of in the back of their mind, but they can work their way in here, try a couple different things before they really commit to a push. Kind of what we saw Swift do last time, and of course it did pay off for them, so froyotech are looking to replicate that success that their opponents did have. So still pushing forward with Eric. There's no counter sniper on the side of Swift, which is interesting. As you mentioned, there was that engineer, which is a decent, I mean, it's not the greatest counter to engineer, but it's not, or to sniper, sorry, but it's not something that sniper is super great at dealing with. But ooh, these pipes might do something as they're spamming that gun pretty hard, but nobody going down just yet. It seems like we're just doing this old back and forth with the spam. Marxist as Eric takes a shot and misses.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Swift's goal here is defensively. Whoa! 4-4 gets bombed in on. Yeah, you can't ball your players up like that, sentry gun or no. And it was very risky, but Habib, the Uber gets popped and Habib just stands there like everything's gonna be okay. And it wasn't. And he ends up getting eaten alive by an Uber. Now, if SVIFT are really great here, they're going to come out and try to force this Uber with the small moment in time that they have, but they're not going to be able to do it. Froyo's going to come in now. They're going to get a frag. Delpo, unfortunately, is going to fall. Garbuglio, however, picks up the frag. So does Marmaloo Girls. The Uber comes out, and now things are going to be even in 2 seconds.
There is still a sentry gun that does get spammed out pretty quickly, but there's so much point pressure and nobody on Swift can get to it. It almost looked like it was going to be a fair fight between two teams, but the issue was Swift had no positioning at all, and now it's going to be a tie game, tied 1-1. Froyotech are going to get that last round.
Yeah, and about 10 minutes left. I was going to say there, if Swift can push out again, that might be the end of the half, but no go. Here we go. Big fast bomb, Cornpop.
Yeah, Swift needs to do something to change on these mids. They haven't been going well for them. This is their third try, and that is going to be something. Delpo getting the frag on a Habib. We'll see if they can work with it. Garbuglio's going to end up going down. He was in a bit of a poor position, bombed on by a soldier. Great job by the soldier there, but now we see the scouts of froyotech still doing some work. Banny got that one on the Slemnish, and because of that, Swift might not even be able to do so much, and there goes Delpo. Oh no, Marmaduke Grills is so low. He tried to eat that arrow, but Banny got that one tap with the pistol. So now it's only Swift, or High Five and 4-4 backing off all the way back from their last. It was looking so promising when they got that first Habib frag, Marxist, but now they're back here. At least they kept their medic alive.
Yeah, it'll turn out okay for Swift here. Normally, the old days, I would have said when you lose your demo first at mid, you probably just lost. But what happened to Swift there is that they were really fanned out across the point. You had most of Swift over on the left by choke, and Garbuglio hanging out on his own, a free pick on the right. And so, even though Garbuglio isn't as valuable to the overall team as Habib is, it was rough.
Speaking of rough, Marmaduke Grills had a bit of an unfortunate bomb there. Got pretty denied. Shade was doing a great job of hiding, so he isn't going to do anything on the counter sack. Eric was the one who ended up dying to prompt that push out for Marmaduke. He's going to come up on Sniper. Been playing a lot of Sniper so far in this match. You can tell he's comfortable on it. He's hit a couple good shots. He hasn't really gone off, but that doesn't mean he won't as he's coming up, just getting warmed up on this left door. Number 1, he's going to poke through. And there is the counter sniper as well. Slemnish is up on it, and Garbuglio is checking classes. So they're going to know that. It's actually the double pick class off class. Garbuglio spy and Slemnish up on sniper.
Yeah, and he is in here running around as Garbuglio.
Wow.
Slem will fall. And I think Garbuglio's gonna switch off. He got scared, and but neither team has shown a willingness to do a proper Uber exchange with only one player advantage. So we're hanging out with 4-4. It's really low. He's gonna be forced.
Oh
That
no.
was Blaze doing that, and that's gonna be a nail in the coffin, so to speak, for SVIFT. But we do have Slemnish. Slemnish is building a gun. High Five is playing heavy. So things might be okay. Froyo are actually really slow to move on this. They really want Blaze to be a part of their push. So here we go. The push will occur now. 404 will get it. Maybe at the end of it.
Coming in through the number 3 doors. It looks like there are some stickies and Shade drops it. Oh no, that's gonna be the end of froyotech's push. I saw that come from a mile away. Nobody checked it, and you can tell that froyotech are not happy about that one. Habib ended up dying right at the same time as well. So SVIFT, they lose Garbuglio, but they should be looking to push out here already. 4-4 at 80%. So this is, you said nail in the coffin, but something happened there, and it was kind of a miracle. Banny is on 4-4 though, and 4-4's all alone over in rollout. He could be in a really tough situation, but thankfully High Five comes back and gets the frag on that scout player. Very dangerous for 4-4. They're still gonna be able to make it though, get on this Spire, and it is gonna go in favor of SVIFT. Great job by them.
Yeah, shades of season 12 there with the dropped Uber. But SVIFT getting out here, they have full Uber advantage. Everything's sniper shot from spawn. Good thing that hits the soldier and not 404, in my opinion. The bomb comes in, it's pretty harsh. Now they're just kind of jumping around. The longer that SVIFT takes on this, the more it plays into Froyo's hand. Because they're going to get their respawns. Eric is coming up in 3 seconds. And also they're buying time for Shade to get Uber. They are still screwing around with this sniper. Okay, he's now gone, but their Uber advantage probably won't come into play. Blaze will... Did he get forward spawn? I can't see.
No,
it
but
looks
he's fast.
Yeah, he'll be there momentarily. So it looks like they're gonna play it safe. No Ubers here, and now we'll see. The play looks like it's in IT. They're trying to do a heel shift instead of a sack, but that doorway, Cornpop, is really tight.
Yeah, I'm glad they chose not to commit to that, because that probably wouldn't have worked out for them. Froyotech was reading it pretty well. Not a common strat, but they're still pushing some players into this, and I don't hate that move because Garbuglio and Slemnish gonna get that frag on it, Eric, and there's a lot. They're trying it right away, and Froyotech are not as prepared. Now they do get Marmaduke Grills, and Garbuglio gets nothing as he bombs forward, so now they have to back off, but because they got that early frag on it, Eric, it's not the end of the world. Froyotech aren't necessarily gonna have the easiest time pushing this middle point. They still could try something. Blaze is still in IT, poking around, and most of Froyotech are up near that choke, but with Banny going down so early, that is going to be harsh for them. 2 soldiers bombing around 4-4, and 4-4 does choose to pop up in that corner. Unfortunate time, but so many Froyo players went down, they might still have to give up the Spire.
Now, if you recall, Cornpop, I brought up crit seals. Now our soldiers are here. They don't really have any health, but Froyo, they appear to be scared. Now they're out here. Eric is going to go down, but Garbuglio is too, and the Uber comes out to block. It's a Habib Uber, but a Scout meets him. Demo versus Scout usually goes to the Scout. High Five is going to go down. Banny is going to get a frag himself. Shade, though, eats some spam, gets very hurt, but is going to back off for now. There is a single Froyo in here right now. Banny leading the charge for his team. He's going to get wiped out by Marmaduke Girls, who gets taken out by Side Guy's Shoddy Boom Body. And they're still trading out here. Whoa, air shot from Side Guy. Maybe, kind of, sort of. It looks to me like it may have hit the wall. But they're still fighting out here over mid. Again, this is not all bad for SVIFT. Unless they end up losing 4-4. They're going to hero Uber it and block the point, Cornpop.
Yeah, but it didn't go quite how they wanted to. Slemnish did die to the stickies of Habib, and now they're still fighting over this middle point. Froyotech are going to give it up in the end. A lot of hectic back and forth fighting. There's some great plays coming out from the individual players on SVIFT, but the issue is that there's just always more Froyotech players left alive, and because of that, they're winning these numbers every single time when they do these one-for-one trades, and now Shade is his Uber advantage as well, so Froyotech are once again going to be looking to leapfrog this back in this middle point. The hectic fighting has not stopped happening yet, but SVIFT, they've done a good job so far of kind of halting these Froyotech aggressions. Froyotech are still usually coming up on top, but we'll see how this one goes. In through IT, popping on Banny, and Side Guy's in there as well. All of Swift are just getting out as fast as they can. They don't want any part of this Ubercharge, and it's working very well for them. They didn't lose any players in that Ubercharge, which means with 404 at 90%, they're going to be able to run right back in here very quickly. And Blaze goes down to Delpo, so with those stickies getting the soldier frag, this is going to be a very easy push in for Swift as long as they don't mess this up. But 404 drops it to Habib. Marmaloo Crows goes down, and oh no, everything is just collapsed. Froyotech are sitting pretty on this middle point. They're going to be getting a second any time now. Marxist, so many medic drops already, and we're only in the first map.
Yeah, our analyst said that 404 was kind of baity. I think he was not at all baity in that case, and had he been, he'd still be alive today to tell us stories about baiting his team. But no, I think their plan there was to block the point, and the first soldier to attempt to jump got thrown straight up in the air, and they said, oh no, this is never going to happen. And then 404 took a pipe in his dome, and then he died. He went to the big rock candy mountain in the sky, and so Shade now has full Uber advantage. It's up to the triple off class on SVIFT to try to block this.
Here they come, popping in with Habib thrown very up early into the air, but we'll see how it goes from this gun. Just getting up to level 3 now. Garbuglio getting up there, but does get spammed down. Now Bandy's getting some time on that point. Swift are kind of passively, but they are getting some aggression now. But Delpo and Summonish both go down. Garbuglio trying his best, but not a whole lot he can do. Good pushing by Froyotech. Pretty solid. They lead 2-1.
Yeah, Bandy putting it upon himself to put pressure on that point, and it changed the game there for their last push. Now, we only have a minute 50 left, less even now as I speak. I doubt there will be another round.
Yeah, unless this mid goes crazy, I'm going to call it after it. We'll see, though. Swift are going to do their best. They don't want to give up. Going down 3-1 is much worse than 2-1, but Blaze goes down very early, and Habib as well. If it's going to happen, it's not going to happen like that. 404 Delpo both end up dying. They still have 4 alive, but the issue is that Shade survives, so even if Swift roll as fast as humanly possible back to last, they're going to be going Uber versus no Uber. Nice frag on a high Saigai over in sewer there. High five and Garbulo get that one, so I think it might be possible, Marxist, on this clock. I can't see it exactly on my HUD, but Swift are going to be taking the second point. But look at Froyotech, ready to just push out. They don't want to try to risk this last hold.
Yeah, unless some great stuff happens for SVIFT and they kill a million players.
No.
And it's not going to happen, no. So I think that's pretty much the end here. We have entered garbage time.
It was a good showing by Swift, though. I mean, throughout that whole first half, it looked like they very certainly could have won it. Of course, this match isn't over just yet. We played 2 30-minute halves in North America, so we will be going to that second half, and it's 1st to 5. So with Froyotech only leading by 1 round, pretty good for Swift. 2-1 is a decent score. They were probably looking it was going to be more like a 3-0 or a 3-1. Froyotech can pop the Ubercharge off. There's no way they have enough time to push in the last. I can't see the clock on my HUD, but they might be going for it, Marx. As Banny's fighting the 1v1 against High Five, you can tell he wants it. They're going to give it their best shot, even if time is not on their favor. And Blaze is already in, but he's going to get taken down again by High Five. The pistol comes out. 4-4 pops the Ubercharge, just sitting on that last point, making sure nobody can do it. Saigai going to be the last person alive, still goes down. So 2-1 is the final score in this half, and Froyotech looking good, but not as dominating as maybe we were thinking.
I'm sure there are lots of people watching who thought this was going to be a pretty swift 5-0. And honestly, I had inklings of it. I wasn't fully convinced. But it has been a very competent round from SVIFT. Probably the most competent I've seen a team look against Froyo this season. It speaks volumes to the effort that they're putting in right now, that Shade ran crits for all of maybe a minute and a half instead of running it for a half an hour.
Absolutely. Usually that's kind of the Froyotech classic. Oh, look how much better we are than you. We put our medic on crits for the whole game, but this time they tried it and Swift very quickly punished that. So you can tell that Froyotech are now showing a lot more respect for Swift, which is good. I think that's what we want to see at the top level of TF2 Invite Grand Finals. Still sticking around. I mean, we'll see how this next half goes, but I expect it to be decent for Swift, especially I know our analysts were talking a little bit earlier before the game. They said that this was going to be Swift's worst map. They said that this one would certainly go in favor of Froyotech, and with it being so close, maybe you gotta think if this is Swift's worst map, froyotech have to be pretty worried for the next two.
Yeah, it should be a bit of a surprise, I would wager, to them. Now,
yeah.
I do have my rule that
Mhm.
slow first half, fast second half. So you never know. That rule has been violated in the past, and especially in a grand finals. The knee-jerk reaction is if we start to lose, slow it down as much as humanly possible. So we'll see. But that tends to, and both teams have really shown a willingness to go slow, particularly on last pushes, where we see a single off-class run, it gets a kill, and we still don't push. That's fairly rare, and it is invite finals, so you try to get that second pick to make it a sure thing. But let's see. Do we want to do stats here? Can we do stats? Who can we blame for what has happened today?
Who can we blame is always my favorite question to ask in these matches, but my stats are still loading, so I don't know. Marks, do you get stats yet? I'm trying to get them up.
Aren't we all? And so here we are, still waiting. They're gonna start the second half though, so who
Doesn't
cares
matter, no
about stats? Yeah, sorry, numbers people. You are strange to me, and we'll get nothing this day. So here we go into the second half. Froyo in the lead, 2-1. Swift putting up quite a fight.
Coming to this next mid fight now, Swift putting up a fight, but their mids have been very bad so far, at least in this first half. Delpo eating so much damage early on. You can see Habib trying to reach him with those stickies, but not quite yet. Garbuglio very low is going to be the first casualty of this mid, but good aggression followed up by Marmaloo Grills, gets that counter frag on Habib. And there's a lot of Froyo players going down. This might be Swift's first mid win. Benny, Eric, and Saigai all going down 3 in a row. Blaze gonna make that 4, so only Shade left alive. He's not gonna be healing anybody. Garbuglio types in chat, Habib, WTF are you doing? Swift have done a very good job of bringing this back in the second half.
I'm gonna meta here.
Yep.
So they did what they did last time. They had Garbuglio really over off by himself, and that baits Froyo to push him because it's a free kill. And then Swift just gobbled him up. They knew that was going to happen and gobbled them up. Got tons of frags off the people that came to get the free Garbuglio kill. So, and that's as much of a bait as you could ever possibly get. It's literally the definition of the word bait. And it worked to perfection. So, and it looks like they tried to do that last mid go around, and it, well, not the, because that last mid was kind of a joke, but the mid before that one, they did the same exact strat. And they just weren't fast enough moving on the bait. They let the fish wiggle it around. The bobber went down and sank forever.
Yeah, now we see, I mean, there was a player that ran in, it was high five. He basically switched off the sniper, and you can see how aggressive Eric was just getting there. He wanted to find the frag onto 4-4, but 4-4's got a very safe hiding spot from that specific sniper angle. There was no way that Eric was going to find him there, so good sniping back and forth. A bit of an interesting sentry spot from Banny as well. He tried something similar to this earlier a couple mids ago, and it failed horribly. Just kind of got spammed out and didn't do much, and he switched off. So we'll see if this one helps him out anymore. It's kind of unique, the way we see these off classes get utilized. Now over in rollout, High Five's going to get juggled and end up being taken down by Saigai. Went for that hero shot, but they were ready. They were watching. And now Banny, what's he doing with this sentry gun? He's going to put it right. Oh, nope. Now he's not. Blaze is still aggressive, though. Trying to get some damage down. Didn't manage to get anything, though. 4-4 is very passive. And now Banny set his sentry gun up right at the shutter and instantly picked it up, and the stickies get dead. So Delpo a little bit confused at that one with 2 players down. Swift are looking to push in with this. They've got a lot of players over in lobby. 5 seconds still on Banny and Blaze's respawn timer. Oh, and they're running to get Habib as well. Habib was all alone. Garbuglio is just walking forward and getting some damage down. Forces Shade as well. Got him very low. Shade was all alone. So Swift, this is their round essentially. They just need to stand on the point, kill some players. There are some respawners, but it's not going to be enough, and they tie it once again 2-2.
Banny tried to get cute there and relive his memories of his former roamer friend Mackie and use the shutter door to conceal a sentry, but unfortunately it got opened and he got blown away. and that ended the round. So here we go, Cornpop.
Swift looking to win one more mid here. It's already tied up. They can win some more. They will be in the lead, so we'll see how they do with this one. Not looking like it's going to be the exact same strat. Banny's taking quite a bit of damage, but Saigai as well, thrown up the air, pistoled by High Five. First frag isn't going in favor of Swift, but gets traded out. Garbuglio down to Banny. Now it's a 5-on-5. Still fighting on this middle point. High Five's taking quite a bit of damage and does get taken down at the exact same moment as Slemnish dies. So Swift are going to lose this one. Back to the old ways. Back on the second.
Yeah, that mid kind of just came down to DM there. As Froyo won their fights. Both teams ran a very similar strat. They both baited a single player off to one side and tried to swarm the people that went after him. And Froyo's swarm was just slightly bigger in one instance, and the Swift player that was pressed didn't really do any damage. So, unfortunate, but that's how it goes. We do have a sniper and a Slemnish NG to defend this last. The Slemnish NG really hasn't done much. And last time they had a sentry where it is now, it proved to be a detriment because SVIFT felt too safe around that gun and kind of just let Froyo run all around here in lobby.
Yeah, guns up to level 2. Eric's going to run forward into a sentry gun, almost certainly just trying to sack and get on and off class. Got some damage on Garbuglio, which was nice, but obviously didn't expect to get a whole lot there. So fine for him to die. High Five tried to do something cute as well, running through rollout, but that was being watched, so not going to happen for him. And it looks like Eric's actually spawning back up on Scout, so froyotech must have something different in mind, Marxist.
Yeah, we'll see. Garbuglio's still standing in spawn. He makes me nervous as long as he spends on Spy. High Five, though, gonna go down. We'll see. Froyo is kind of running in here. They're gonna get 2 kills, essentially fed to them by SVIFT. But Froyo not one to deal with this gun just yet. That was actually really good from Garbuglio. He was being tanked by the med. Just block these rockets with your body, and you'll never have the gun go down. Because Slemnish has his sentry gun and dispenser set up. It's it's the oldest Highlander trick in the book. Just use HP to block those projectiles, and it won't go down.
Yeah, High Five standing in a bit of an aggressive spot. Eric sees an easy frag on him and takes it when he can. Ends up dying as Marmaloo Grills gets the counter frag on him, but now we see it's a 5-on-5, and froyotech are getting a little bit aggressive in lobby as they have before. Habib trying to put some stickies down, make some more room for his team, and Shade is in there, so we could see some sort of a committal, and we see they're just pushing forward now. Banny going down to Delpo. Garbuglio was in a very scary spot, just kind of ran forward and was able to get some rockets onto Shade, but not enough to do enough damage to force or kill or anything, so nothing crazy again. But there we go, High Five landing a HUD shot onto Saigai, but not enough to kill once again, so you can see they're just doing a lot of damage back and forth, and Eric once again not choosing any off classes, staying on that scout class.
Yeah, and again, we see the crit seals thing come into play that I mentioned earlier. Since Banny came back up on Scout, if they did actually push out, he was standing on Spire by the time that it got out there. And he would have had his 185. So we'll see. It's basically on High Five to do something really great right now, or someone on SVIFT to make a mistake. Otherwise, we're gonna spend. Whoa! Beams go down. That's and another headshot comes out, and side guy is gonna fall to Marmaduke Grills. This is Marmaduke's time.
Yeah, we see Swift are coming forward. They gotta watch out for Blaze in the back line. Gets the frag on the sniper class. That's very dangerous. And Garbuglio kind of caught up to dry. Marmaduke Grills does get that uber charge popped onto him, and they're gonna get the frag on Blaze. Eric very low in the back lines as well, but Shade has been holding on to this uber charge, and this is pretty dangerous because now he's gonna have it just plus forwarding on with Banny. We'll see if they ended up having to pop it. You can tell they don't want to until they can formally commit to a push. 4-4 goes down to Habib. Great positioning by the Demo Man. And now we see the Uber Charge coming out. They're going to get a lot of frags. 3 down already on the side of Swift. There's no gun. I don't know where the gun went, but might have switched off as they were pushing out. Now Banny's still fighting over this middle point. A couple sticks on it, but it's not going to be too big of a deal. Froyotech are all over this point. Delpo and Garbuglio doing a good job so far of keeping Froyotech off of it. And now they're going to get some respawns in as well, so they might just be long enough. But no, it seems like these respawns aren't going to be fast enough. And that is going to be Froyotech leading 3-2, but still a lot of back and forth. Very close game.
Yeah, the big thing on last pushes like that is ammo management. Froyo almost gave it away to SVIFT, but Blaze showed up and he had 4 rockets in his gun, and that was that. So here we go, another mid. 3-2.
Let's see how this one ends up laying out. Swift only won one so far, but the one they won was pretty dominating, and they managed to convert it into a round. So we'll see how they go with this one. They're a little bit more aggressive than froyotech so far, but nobody down just yet. Garbuglio trying to get aggressive, but it's going to be Marmaduke Grills actually who goes down early, and high five as well, kind of too far forward. Garbuglio not looking healthy either. Slemnish might be able to get back out. He's going to be fine, but froyotech very dominating. They haven't lost anybody so far. We'll see if they continue that, pushing forward, and a pick shot on the Delvo. Not quite enough to kill him, but there we go. Habib does get that follow-up with the stickies. Garbuglio trades it for him, but still good job by Habib now, and with only 2 players left alive on Swift, they're going to get those respawns, but they're in a tough spot, holding their last already. 4-4 again, surviving, so good job by him, but they don't like being in the spot. They've been on it for so long, sitting on the glass, and it's always going to end up in something happening eventually. Banny goes down, or Eric goes down, sorry.
Well, there's a whole bunch of pressure on 404 right now. Blaze went in as well. I'm surprised in Froyo not chasing that kill all the way to last. There were only 2 players, and one of which was a med. So this would have been an easier affair for them. But we'll see. Whoa, the counter sack comes out super late, actually. This looks like a legitimate push. Marmaduke is going to die, but so is Guy. So that's just your standard counter sack. And let's see. Well, they do the respawn. No off classes Cornpop from Froyo, which we've seen them do before, but strange.
Yeah, froyotech's never been a super off-class dependent team. They like to do cookie cutter sometimes. It's what they're very good at, so I don't blame them for it. And we can see just there, Eric running forward and just getting a frag on a high five. High five, a little bit poor positioning as he was left out to dry a little bit as that sniper class. Now Eric's been able to work his way into this right-hand side, but he's taking quite a bit of damage. We'll see if he can make any room for his team. Blaze is a big bomb, and 4-4's in a bit of trouble, having to back off, and he does get forced in the end. Blaze was able to live for so long and ends up getting that force. Froyotech lost 2 players for it. Eric died as well, but I don't think it's going to matter. They can't even get out of their last point, so Froyotech are going to have this 100% Uber advantage, and once again, they're probably going to be able to convert into a round. We'll see, though.
Yeah, and for 4-4, that's a situation of damned if you do, damned if you don't. You either drop the Uber and your team is screwed, or you pop and your team is screwed. So now the upside to popping it in this scenario is that at least his team will have overheals when this Uber comes in.
And they've kind of taken it kind of slow. They haven't really done anything with the first half of the Uber charge, but Marmaduke Grills is eating a lot of damage just from his zone jumping, and Banny got a lot of time out of that point, just standing on the edge of it. But now we see the bulk of Swift's defense half push forward on this left-hand side, and they're trying to keep Froyotech off of it, but they have no pressure on the right. Gonna be trade 1-for-1 on the scouts, and eventually Froyotech just hold that positioning, and they're gonna be able to get another round on the board, which means we're at 4-2.
Yeah, the big change for Froyo's last pushes is Banny himself has taken it upon himself to put that point pressure on, and it's totally changed it. It's much easier for them.
Very fast bomb by Garbuglio, trying to get on Habib, but can't quite get it. Delpo tried to commit as well. This has been a very aggressive mid from Swift, but it's not paying off for them. There is a 4-on-4 right now, so they haven't actually lost too many in terms of flat-out numbers. Saigai and Marmaduke Grills are in a 1v1 over in the blue team's sewers. The Slemnish comes in, helps out his buddy as Marmaduke Grills gets that final frag, so this is going to be a mid-win for Swift. Froyotech are backing off through their choke. They're still kind of poking around, want to spam some pipes from Habib, but there goes the cap, and it's going to be a Swift midpoint. We still see Froyotech left here alive. They might want to fight this. I don't know. They've been sitting in choke for a long time, but I think they're probably backing off the second point and going to be contentious to sit here. They do still have a 2-point lead.
Yeah, there's no reason to risk it. Garbuglio going in deep, though, hitting nothing right now. Not a lot of support for him. Shade has a great surf over to the bats, and that will pretty much be that for them right now. Let's see. Blaze isn't in position to do a counter sack. Saigai didn't have a buff or anything, so he's not gonna go. And Froyo are they're putting it in park right now.
Well, they got a lot of players in IT, especially with Shade in there. Eric and Blaze, they're just kind of standing. They might be waiting for somebody to poke in, and Marmaduke Grill's gonna take that bait, jumping into 4 players, eaten very quickly by Eric, and Garbuglio followed that up, taken down by Blaze. So suddenly, Froyotech have created a 2-man ad for them. No soldiers on the side of Swift. We've seen this position kind of in a swapped situation, though, as Swift were sort of in the same situation froyotech are. We'll see if Froyo want to push with it. I don't believe Swift did, but froyotech are doing a good job kind of getting into this choke. They have passed through this point now. We see Swift are going to get this frag on Eric, though, and that could change the mind of froyotech, especially since it's been so long. The respawners are coming in from Swift, and froyotech opted not to commit to that. Wasn't looking great.
Yeah, and they have no obligation to do so because
Yeah.
they're in the lead. They have the crappier respawn. So for them, if it's a bad proposition, they can just give it up. It's on SVIFT to take the risk. Garbuglio, he goes in for essentially a sack play. That's the deal. SVIFT has to take the risks.
Mm-hmm.
And if it backfires for them, they're the ones that lose.
This one doesn't look like it's going to backfire too bad. Eric tried to do that counter sack, but he just ended up going down, so not super successful by either team. We'll see if they want to, if Eric wants to come with an off class. Garbuglio's on spy, and that is a real spy. Yeah, he's not just checking, so here he comes out on the field. We'll see if he can make something happen. I kind of like this play. It's not the least predictable. They might expect it, but they would definitely. Yeah, okay.
Spy Sewers step back is a sticky Henry genius, right? Sunish. Yeah, that's you. So the trouble with Spy is that when you walk up to shutter doors, they open, and that was not our analysts, right? They predicted a lot of off class to Spy, and I think that's really the first time we've seen it out of Garbuglio. And it was in those situations I don't like. It was in a situation where it was patently obvious you're either going to run a spy or a sniper. And then you did, and he opened every shutter door and died in a sticky trap.
Yeah, unfortunately. As I was saying, it wasn't the most unpredictable, but yeah, not working out for them that time. Eric did, however, choose the sniper class when he went back to spawn, so we'll see if he wants to actually hit any shots with it. Still kind of just peeking forward over in this ISIS area. Looking for a frag, and now High Five has come up on a better off class, on that sniper class, looking to counter-snipe the Eric threat.
Yeah, and this is a slowdown that SVIFT really can't afford, because we're about midway, a little past midway probably in this half. And we're going to need, if you're a SVIFT player, you're going to need to get two additional rounds to tie this up. And every second spent doing this is potential to lose the game. And you don't want to do that in the invite finals, Cornpop. Oh, big shot out to Eric. Now, will they be slow? Yeah, they're going to do, again, invite finals. They're going as slow as humanly possible, not pushing now. Marmaduke, though, he tries to go for a player that may be overextended, but he finds not but air. And we'll see now. Slumnish is going to fall to a sticky trap from Habib, and that will be that, I think.
Oh, there's still some fighting. Nice rocket by Marmaduke Grills. Gets Saigai over in sewers. And Banny going down some stickies of Delpo. So that's two people down already on Froyotech. Slumnish is going to be up on that respawn very quickly. And High Five is just running in. Really wanted to frag onto Shade, try to put it in a frag video, but Habib was able to get the stickies, and that wasn't going to work out for him. So, still, it doesn't seem like Swift are going to push. And, I get it's invite grand finals, but there's not a ton of time left, about 15 minutes, and Swift are down by 2, so I'd like to see them be getting a little bit more aggressive. They obviously don't need to be in a panic zone just yet, but I don't know, Marxist. I kind of would like to see them push sometime in that little kerfuffle they just had.
Yeah, here's the science. This is what I would do. You double suicide a soldier and a scout. One of them comes back as heavy. And then you put that heavy on top of the crates, and you just stand there for when Froyo pushes back in. Also, you pop Uber in there and show it to Froyo. And that way, when they push back in, they push into a heavy. God willing, you win that fight. And you push last.
Wow, big bump by Saigai. He tried to get in through choke, but Delta was ready for him with the stickies. Now we see them pretty aggressive, and this might be the pop-off that I was just talking about. They only have one-man ad, but 404 is pretty aggressive with this team. There's a lot of spam raining down over him, and he hasn't technically popped yet, but they're very good, and I heard a headshot ring out. I think it was on the Habib, and that's going to prompt the pop out of 404, getting forward, and they get that demo frag, exactly what they wanted. They got Shade to pop as well, but it's going to be a bit better. Uber, and this is the collapse from froyotech. Great job getting on 404, and they're not done yet. Delpo going down as well to Eric as he runs through that choke point, and now there's only 4 players left alive on Swift. Kind of scattered around, and froyotech are ready to push into this middle point. Now we see there is still a sniper on the field. We got to watch out for that, and Slemish in the back lines causing some havoc. He's over on second still, as there's some players over in the Swift team's choke. Slemish and High Five both end up going down on opposite sides of the map. Garbuglio is in froyotech's choke, about to die to Blaze. There he goes. Everybody's all over the place, Marxist, but froyotech are going to end up with this middle point.
Yeah, and the big story here for me is that their Ubers are still pretty close.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Is Swift gonna dig in their heels here and defend this second point? Because they're just gonna run back to left. They had the chance to do it, Cornpop. They could have made a stand there, but they're gonna fall back to last. And I think that's gonna damn them to losing this game, because now they're on last. We're running out of time. They've got to get 2 rounds in a match that is very hard fought.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them. We see the Uber Charge are going to be coming up for both teams, and Banny made a chat earlier. Oh, never mind. They're popping Uber Charge off. Interesting play. 4-4 does have his now. There's a Heavy and an Engineer up on the field. The Heavy switches off, but Shade is really caught out. I'm not sure what happened to him. I think he got juggled, but Slemish is able to take him down in froyotech. I'm not quite sure what the play was there. Maybe they thought they had larger Uber ad than they actually did, but now it's up to Swift to push out on the second point. Blaze tries to bomb, but he does get eaten by Marmaduke Grills, and we see Sci-5 is just running forward, gets the frag on a Banny. We see there's a couple players trying to go back. They did get a frag. Delpo ended up dying after getting the frag on Eric, but the Engineers coming out from Garbuglio get Psy Guy, and that's pretty much all the back cap threats eliminated. So they're up on this mini Spire. It ended up getting it capped off, and Habib's already being pressured out of choke. It's a pipe, so he's not in any real danger, but great job by Swift to be able to counter that. Pretty horrible froyotech pop in.
Yeah, and the comedy from Slemnish is he just stayed on NG. His opinion that this was all folly and that his team was about to get crushed, and it was just going to be him and his machine on last. But they successfully survived and even picked up a frag. So now we see 404 slight Uber advantage. If they push right away before they even get it, they have a chance to make this work. And they're going to go as fast as they can, Cornpop.
Yeah, they're getting aggressive, and Shade got pretty low, but he did end up having his Uber Charge, and now it's all froyotech's game. They're getting a lot of damage. Big shot by Marmaduke Grills actually gets the frag on Eric, but it still seems like this is going in favor of froyotech. He saw Slumnish trying to do his best to stay alive, but now it's only Delpo and 404, and they're all the way back, trying to get back to last because they're so desperate to not get taken down by this Froyo threat. Banny kind of plays a little bit poorly there. It does die to the stickies of Delpo. But still, this is looking like a froyotech pushing to last pretty soon here, unless they can get their off classes up. And Ubers are even, maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon, but still, froyotech are in a great position. They've managed to get their second point back, and there's not a ton of time left on this clock.
Yeah, the clock is the main enemy of Swift now, and because Froyo's chances of winning on a last push are basically on this Banny Spy, wherever it is. Oh, there he is. He's still over by IT, so no biggie, really. He isn't a threat yet. But that's really all that could derail this for Swift. So, and he's still not doing anything, so they may just be perfectly content to let this round whittle away.
Oh, but he's actually worked his way into a pretty decent position. Oh, I think he's going for the back cap, Marxist. That's the play, and you can tell that Swift needs to push out on this if they want to win the game. They're already over on the second point. Shay did pop his Uber charge off. Banny's still back there, and he hasn't really made his move, just kind of running around on that upper area. The most of Swift are sort of standing in lobby still. Banny gets the stab on a Delpo, which isn't quite a back cap or a med drop, but demo pick is still very nice. He'll take that. Garbuglio trying to get aggressive. Okay, gets the frag on a side guy, but ends up having to trade out with that for his life, so still not great, and that's going to prompt Froyotech to push right in on this last point. There is that heavy that you love pushing in this, trying to defend, but Banny's coming actually back in on Spy, gets the frag on the heavy, and 4-4 turns his attention to him. Slender gets the frag, but it doesn't matter. Froyotech are going to take that first map 5-2.
Yeah, and that is how the cookie crumbles, Cornpop.
And it is unfortunate that it ended up happening that way for Swift, but that is kind of what was predicted. We can do like a quick rundown of these stats if you've got them up, Marxist. But pretty quickly we'll throw it over to our analysts.
Yeah, I don't have them right now, actually, in front of me.
All right, well, I can see them, so I can talk a little bit. Top fragger was Eric with 35 frags, but he also did pretty high on those death numbers, 29, highest for his team. I noticed he was dying a lot, so I was kind of surprised when he top fragged, but good job by him overall. Was positive with that KD, so you can't complain too bad there. Nothing crazy like across the board. Big damage, Benny, only person above 300. But yeah, I don't think anything stands out particularly to me, Marxist. So let's see if anything else. I want to hear what our invite experienced players have to say about this match.
Yeah, I will let them if they want to talk about the stats at all. I mean, Shay did get 2 frags though, so kudos to him. But yeah, we'll kick it over to our analysts. Let them have their moment.
Well, I got my prediction right. Feeling pretty good about that. One thing I forgot to mention before this even all started, I noticed it, and I forgot to say anything, was that I know Froyo didn't pregame like at all in practice today, and I know Swift did, so that's probably why the pace of this match probably went like a little bit slower than anticipated. But I don't know. It was a little bit of a rocky start for both teams. There was a little bit of back and forth. I guess maybe a little bit more of a rocky start for Froyo, because they were the favorites. So if they don't, I guess, win as fast as you'd expect them to, it's a little bit more in them. But both teams, making a couple mistakes. A lot of demo related issues. I think that was probably a big focus of like the entire match on how you properly deal with like dealing with the other team's demo in different situations, whether you're backing up or pushing in or just trying to like have a normal dry fight. And I think the rest of the analysts have a little bit more to say about that in regards to the demo man.
Yeah, I mean, it was an awesome match first off, but mainly on the dome part, when me and like all the other analysts were watching this match, there was one mid where Habib kind of just like walked at like their sewer door, which I don't really get. Granted, he did like 180 to Garbuglia, but a roamer for a demo for a roamer, I mean, I don't think that's a good trade. Frey ended up getting kind of rolled that mid with that. I don't know if Habib was kind of zoned out that mid or was getting like too antsy hitting Garbuglia for so much and no one was immediately falling up on the damage, so he decided to do it himself. But he kind of tunneled himself in a pretty bad spot. Like again, what Jarrett said, a lot of demo related issues. I think that's one that completely stands out in my mind.
Yeah, this map went a lot closer than I originally expected. In terms of just like pacing and how slow it was, I did think it was going to be more like Froyo in control the whole game, and it really wasn't. So props to Swift there. Like they did a good job of at least putting up a fight this map, regardless of the 5-2 scoreline. And they definitely had a lot of moments where they showed promise. I recall a lot of stuff from the first half. For me, that's like a majority of the game, because once the second half started to get around, come around, like it really was more Froyo was in control at that point and started to take more control. So in general, Swift's mids were kind of overall worse than Froyo's like throughout. I don't know the exact like mid stat line, but I'm positive they lost a lot more mids than they won, and that definitely has like an impact on like how you're gonna do in a game, because you're always fighting uphill climb. And so I definitely think that played a role, and considering they were fighting that uphill climb the whole time, pushing out of places defensively, I really do think that they did quite well. So, but a lot of the mids they played passive, in my opinion, and just like it didn't seem like they were very together, and I think that was a huge thing. Whereas Froyo kind of had more of like it seemed more of a game plan. I think that there was also a lot of like kind of beef the last pushes, kind of from Froyo in particular in the first half. I will mention that sort of got fixed later on. So I don't know. It was a fairly back and forth game. I don't know. One other big thing to note is, I think that Swift were kind of taking it too slow on a lot of their ad pushes. I think that they did a lot of plays where they kind of sat in chokes, or like were just like kind of waiting out too long when they had ad, when they just needed to go and pressure Habib and get right on him, and vice versa. Froyo kind of did similar things. When you're trying to push, especially on a map like Process, you need to be pressuring the demo when you have an Uber ad like that, and preventing them from resticking whatever choke you're trying to get through, because otherwise you won't be able to get a clean push in. And if you're trying to push and get a clean push in and you're not doing that, it's going to go terribly. You're going to lose players, you're going to lose your Uber ad, etc., etc. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
On Swift side, really just a Delpo show a lot of time. At the latter part of the game, Froyo just had the lead. Swift took a few bad Uber exchanges where they didn't get a force, or 4-4 got caught out, and they just got bled out by Froyo. I remember there was one instance, I think Froyo lost the round off it. They were on their last, Banny went Inji, got his gun, opened the shutter door, and just died to a sticky trap that he knew was there, and then they dropped 2 more players and just lost the round. It was just really awkward and disjointed. But now that map's over, this is the map everybody's thinking. If Swift has a chance to take a map, this is the map. This is probably their best map, along with Viaduct, but that was banned. But predicting some big things coming out here.
Yeah, gonna be moving over to Gullywash as the second map. I agree that it's actually, I think, probably both teams favor Gullywash, just like when you as a team rate all the maps you're good at. So it'll be kind of interesting to see, you have 2 teams that really favor Gullywash, then they favor it for different reasons. What different part of the strengths of playing on that particular map is gonna shine out, and will it be enough to actually convert mid wins into rounds, or even things not like mids, like plays, like sniper plays, or abusing the chokes on Gullywash. So I think it'll be kind of interesting to see, especially because I think both teams kind of rely a little bit on their domain. I think, especially because it's Gullywash, but these teams anyway are very demo oriented for the most part. So especially with all the problems that we saw on Process when dealing with Demomen, and how the Demomen performed, when you go to a very like demo-centric map, it can really like make or break, each individual round for that you play for. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, like I said on Process, I had a feeling Swift was gonna keep it a little bit closer than most people expected, which I was happy about. And if they're already showing this strong of a presence going into Gullywash, and people are saying it's their more favored map, which I can agree with. They play pretty well in Gully. I'm really hoping that they're gonna be able to pull through and take it even closer, maybe 5-4, 5-3, maybe even take it to Golden Cap or beat Froyo, take it to map 3. I'm sure we all want to see a map 3 and have Froyo be dethroned as the best current NA team.
Yeah, when it comes to goalie, I definitely think they're gonna take it, in my opinion. Like, goalie's just, I don't know. It's gonna come down to the mids, really, in my opinion. I know that Froyo likes to do these really aggressive mids revolving around Habib, spamming the mid early in big door, and Delpo kind of mirrors that. In terms of what they do on mids, and it kind of, honestly, it comes down when the mids, for the mids, it comes down to who is really going to out pressure each demo on every mid, like whether the scout or the roamer. I know Garbuglio does a lot of drop down stuff, and is like, he's really good at that. I've seen him get like 4Ks, 5Ks before, just coming up drop at the perfect time and annihilating a team. So, I mean, it's really going to come down to like the degree of pressure that each demo gets. Like, I think Purple's drop down plays are really going to be like a huge thing. And I think if he's having a lot of success with what he does, I think Swift will take the map in general. But if he's not, I definitely think that Froyo will probably end up taking the map. It's going to be a close game, though.
One thing that I really want to point out is Marmaduke is a big fan of the double high bomb into the enemy big door to try and get on a med or something. And a lot of times, if they're not expecting, which I hope they will, they played them on the spot before in a match, but that can just instantly lose you a mid or at least put you at a huge disadvantage. Down a medic, down a scout, just a lot of damage on you. But I think SVIFT's got to come out with an explosive start so they can't get bled out again by Froyo.
I think with the Doan being such an important factor in this map, for like me personally, I kind of feel like Swift has done a better job at trying to like eliminate Habib as a factor than Froyo has done trying to like make Delpo not be able to do anything. Both struggled at different points in the last map, but because I kind of feel like Swift has been doing a better job at like making sure Delpo has a lot of room and Delpo is not getting punished as much, until Froyo changed that, I would go as far to say that like Swift could do way better and like maybe like 5-4 at best. I still feel like Froyo's gonna take it. Like Froyo's competent enough to like be able to adapt when they see a problem that arises within their team. But I would say they're gonna do probably a little bit better than the previous match. I'll say like 5-3 final, but if they do really good, they could do 5-4. At least that's for like my personal prediction on how this match will go. But I think Froyo will take it in the end still.
Yeah, I assume Froyo is gonna take it as well. I mean, I feel like this map's gonna go either one or two ways. Swift's gonna come out on top, or it's gonna be an extremely close game. But I don't think there's gonna be like a lot of stalemates between these two teams, honestly, because I really do feel Swift's gonna combat Froyo's passive style, or not only passive style, just more coordinated and thorough play style, and Swift's just gonna combat them with just pure chaos and DM and try to win, just try to bring them out. And I do think that Swift's gonna be able to pull it out on this map. I think that if there's gonna be a scoreline that they're going to take this on, I feel like it's gonna be 5-3 in favor of Swift. But it's gonna be tough for them. Froyo's not gonna let them just take this for free though.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a tough matchup. Again, I just got to reiterate, like, it really does just come down to, like, I really think whoever's just out-pressuring the demos on these mids, it's going to be a huge, like, it won't necessarily decide rounds, but it'll set the teams up for, to be in good positions to take rounds. So I do agree with Jarrett in that I think Swift overall are doing a better job of pressuring Habib, at least if you look at the evidence from the last map. Rather than the other way around. And so I would say, if Purple Shirt's able to make those plays and do a lot, and Delpo just has free reign on the mids, like I really do see Swift having like pretty strong game here. I'd say the overall scoreline for me would be, I think if Swift wins, it's going to be, I don't know, I'd say 4-3, something like that, or 5-4, really close, intense game. And if Froyo wins, I think what's going to end up happening is they're going to roll a couple rounds in a row. Swift is going to sort of feel disheartened, and it could just snowball from there. And I think it might, if Froyo ends up taking it, it's going to be a pretty like candid 5-2.
I'm gonna talk about some of the gimmicks here. Shade, everybody knows. He said he's gonna be on crits on this mid. And he's a man of his word with the crits. Gotta watch for that one. If they start getting rolled, they're just gonna get BM crits into over and over again until they get punished. One thing that Sif's kind of messing around with a bit on this map is banner plays. If you don't know what it does, if you get enough damage, you get to pop a banner off that gives you damage resistance. And a lot of people use that for post-Ubers, pre-Ubers. And it's just kind of like a secondary Uber of sorts. But SVIFT, they probably have an upper hand on the gimmicks. They kind of do the same thing to break stalemates and on pushes. But like on process, they got red a few times because they just keep recycling the same thing. And if they don't start trying to do something a little bit more original, I don't think they're gonna get much done with their attempt of breaking the stalemates.
Alright, well, I think we've set our piece for Gullywash. Probably set a good precedent for what we think's gonna happen.
All right, well, thanks, guys. We are almost ready to get going in this match, so we'll take it from here. But yeah, Marxist, I think this will be a good match. I don't know. They said it pretty well. This is probably going to go in favor of froyotech, but it was a very good shot for Swift if they're going to win any of the maps. It'll probably be this one. So how do you feel about this map?
Yeah, the big flipperoonie here, the determining factor, I would say. Process is not a demo-centric mid other than the first 1 to 2 seconds of it, where if you do a super fast rollout and kill their demo with your stickies in a comedic fashion, then mid is going to go great. That didn't happen. Gullywash, however, is one of the few maps in the rotation where demo is still very influential. And if you look at the ESEA postings of the pick bans, Froyo banned Badlands fairly early, and Badlands is also one of those maps where a strong demo, aka Delpo, can have a huge impact on mid. And we'll see if Delpo can crush on these mids, then SVIFT will be in the sandblast territory of it being a close game. If something happens with Delpo and he can't perform, or Froyo has cooked up some sort of method to deal with him, then yeah, Froyo heavily favorite still. That's my view of this.
It's fair enough. I think it's going to be still an uphill battle, in my opinion, for Swift. There are 12 players in the server now. They've been talking a lot of stuff in the chat. People have been having some issues, both Delpo and Habib, I think. We're struggling to get into the server, but we're waiting for the higher seed to pick their sides, so we're going to be going live right away here, Marxist. It is ESEA Invite Season 26, Map 2 of the Grand Finals. Froyotech won that first one 5-2 on process, but now we're going into Gullywash and starting this first map. Shade said he's running crits. Is he correct there?
He is.
Oh
So
boy.
will Vanny win yet another ESEA Finals? Or will SVIFT make a bold stand here on Gullywash and send it to a third map and ruin Froyo's perfect season?
Delpo getting here about the same time as Habib. Now Blaze is looking to go up, drop down, so watch for him in a couple seconds. But Garbuglio first is down under this point, getting back towards his team, and now Blaze finds him perfectly. Marmaloo grills as well, taken down by Saigai. So already a quick couple man advantage for Froyotech, and with that one going down as well, Delpo dying. The rest of Swift are on the retreat. You can see this aggression by Eric doing a great job, gets high five, and now 4-4 is kind of on the retreat. Slumdish is there to protect his medic, so no huge danger. We still see some soldiers pressuring in here. Saigai looking to get on some more damage, but he's not going to find anything, and it looks like Froyotech are content just to sit on the second point. But here comes the crit streak now, perfectly positioned by Habib to get a frag on a Garbuglio, but doesn't seem like he's hitting a whole lot else. Not detting right when he needs to be, and only one frag with that crits. 4-4 is going to have 100% Uber advantage now.
Yeah, I was a big proponent of crits back in my playing days, but that was before the demo nerf, and crits just isn't as good as it once was. You really have to catch the other team with their pants down, which may be what happens for Delpo here. No, he misses the shot onto Shade. It was perfect, but Shade steps back a bit, and now this crits does nothing. Blaze is going to fall to Slemnish, and who is also going to get Vanny. He cleans out up top. A nice campaign from Slemnish there, and Marmaduke is going to lock out the choke, so we have double crits here. And that is going to be a Shade with crits advantage, and he's going to have it pretty much right now. We'll see what they decide to do. Basically, for SVIFT, you just need to be spread out. Just make sure that when Habib does this crits, there's only one target at a time for him to shoot at.
Coming into the second point now, and Shade's kind of lagging behind. Most of Froyotech are already in, but Swift are playing very passively. You see Marmaduke Grills tried to bomb forward, force that overcharge out, but gets air shot and thrown back towards his team. He's going to be okay. Saigai's still forward, aggressive in the enemy team, and he's going to end up getting taken down. Now the Chris gets popped, but it's, again, not really connecting with anything. They didn't get anything at all in that Chris Creek pop. Lost Saigai and Eric, and now, again, it's going to be 4-4 this big crits advantage.
Yeah, it was a Christmas miracle that Marmaduke did not die there. But Habib is deading his sticks too early. Blaze and Banny are going to go down. Delpo dies in a sticky trap. That hurts Swift somewhat, but they're going to win this midpoint. 404 still has the crits. I'm surprised they're not moving more aggressively with it. Marmaduke is going to be the guy here. He's going to light up Habib, but not get too much help. Switches over to Slimnish. He will get the frag. And they will get Psy Guy as well. Shade's not really going to have this in time. There is a sniper still standing in forward spawn trying to catch out if they have a lazy player solo capping mid.
Oh, 4-4 standing right there. If Eric just peeks out, oh, he sees him too. Oh, I'm so nervous for where 4-4 is standing right now. He's gonna back off and the back spawn happens, so no more danger, but man, he was standing still in front of the shutter door at one point, so I'm not quite sure if he just didn't know the sniper was in there or what, but now Shade has his full crits advantage, and they're pushing forward with Banny, but Shade's taking so much damage and actually goes down to a great bomb by Marmaduke Grills with him getting that one quick frag. This is going to be great for the rest of Swift. 4-4 almost has his crit streak now, but he is going to be getting it. A lot of players down on froyotech already. Only Habib and Psy Guy left alive, and Psy Guy doesn't look long for this world at all. High 5 and Garbuglio in a 1v1 with him. He's got that shotgun, but can't take down 2 players with it, it seems. And now it's only Shade and Habib left alive, trying to defend this last point. It's 100% crits from 404 Marxist. This is going to be probably a round for Swift if they can play their cards right.
Well, the Chris last push is tough, but we'll see now because they're trying to build the sentry gun, Banny with the correct play here, and they do have the pyro as well, so you're going to have to try to get this crits in such a way that they don't really mess with it. So we'll see. This is going to be a toughie.
And they're being pretty slow with it too. They might actually let Shade get his crits or something before they want to go. But now they're peeking out and they get that crit streak very first sticky onto the pyro, but the rest of them is doing a good job of deflecting away, and they really haven't gotten anything with this great job with a reflex on Eric. Now the crits is over, they get the gun, but Garbuglio coming up from water, standing on that point, got about half capped and got a good frag on a Blaze, but otherwise it doesn't look like it's going to be a full committal or a successful push by Swift. Nobody's really going for that back half. Their high 5 gets flamed down by Eric. So 3 down, they're going to back off and give froyotech the second point. It was a good shot, but as you said, Chris pushing the last is pretty tricky.
Yeah, Chris pushed into last with a pyro and an NG is what ruined it. But now they are critzing out here. No crit sticky is going to hit anybody. They will get a kill, but that's acceptable. Marmaduke holds the line, as it were. They're going to grab mid here, but 4-4 might pop back in here. Can they get everyone?
Oh.
They're going to get Shade. That's a big kill, at least. And not a lot of health over on Froyo, but they come right back and take out both scouts on SVIFT. And they're not done yet, but Banny is going to fall. Eric will as well. So all to play for Swift. Can they block this point to keep their forward spawns? Yes, Marmaduke is going to play Fire King. Garbuglio gets the air shot. So there we go. So that was very well played from Swift there. Nice stuff.
Yeah, I was watching Garbuglio almost that whole time and he wasn't getting anything and I was almost disappointed, but hits a really nice rocket at the end. Blaze big bomb on a Marmaduke Grills, ends up getting the frag on him. He didn't even know he was there, that bomb was so high. But with that, froyotech are able to hold on to this second point, but 4-4 will have this crits advantage very shortly. He's at 93% right now, so they're going to be looking to go with this once again. If they can get a lot of frags, this could end up being well for them, but they're kind of over towards Big Door now. They pop it off, and Habib smartly jumps away from it, and there's really nobody else that can get eaten up by this crit streak play. Throwing it up top, but there's nobody up there to take it, and there's a big bomb by Blaze, but he's not going to end up getting any frags himself. 3 players down on the side of Swift. They got Habib for a nice pipe by Delpo, but it ended up just being a demo man trade. So the last player's alive, backing off. It doesn't look like there's going to be a hole in this middle point. Unfortunate now because Shade already has 90% crits, and they're going to be able to use this to get in on second or maybe even last. Oh, Uber.
Shade pulled a dirty trick and is gone to Uber here. But as I that push there into second, there are fundamental questions about human existence, Cornpop, like why are we here? How do you push into Gullywash second when the whole team is up top? And SVIFT still doesn't know the answers to any of those questions. And now we have a full Uber push against a crits, I think, from 4-4. No, he switched. So, okay. So if Froyo totally screws this up, everything will be okay. They are going very slowly. 7th player and Pyro in play.
Popping off on the Banny, a lot of players being flashed early in the supercharge from froyotech, doing a lot of damage to that sentry gun, but being healed right back up and finally goes down. Now Slemish flames down Banny, who got some time out of that point. Been a good defense so far. froyotech really didn't get a whole lot with that supercharge. The side guy's taking a lot of damage, but we'll see. Eric's now up on 4-4. If he can get this frag, this could turn things around, but pistol out of the air by High Five. Great defense by Swift. Only 2 players left alive on froyotech. They're probably going to have to give up the second point.
Yeah, Banny kind of went for what he was doing on Process, where he... pressure on the inside. Man. Yeah, they're going to be forced by Blaze. Really well done from him. Good timing. And a lot of what Roamer play is just timing. It's not necessarily a supreme skill. And now Froyo is pushing back in. They're going to be flanked here. Delpo falls. Eric is behind, and he can't go for a back cap, but he is all over 404. And he is gonna fall, and now it is looking dark indeed for Swift, but they come back and get the frags, and it is only Shade alive, and he'll die as well. Swift will get this midpoint. Who are they gonna block? Cornpop? I think they'll block. The 3 Froyo players will be alive for this. Whoa, Banny dies though. He just goes in and feeds. If he saw a player do that in a pug, he would be irate. But it was Banny, the bandman himself, feeding there. And now all going in the way of Swift.
Yeah, we're back on these normal Uber charges now, so pushes are going to be a little bit stronger as long as they have this Uber charge advantage. Blaze gets spammed down on marmaloo grills, and it's actually Eric on that sniper class who finishes them off with a body shot. So 1 player advantage for froyotech, but Banny again just kind of runs in and dies to Slemish. Doesn't get a whole lot done. A little overconfident in skills right now maybe, is they're going to have to give up that second point. Blaze is still in kind of a sneaky spot, and just based on the way Dopo's playing, I don't think they know he's in there. Slemish finally does check him, and he should. Oh wow, Blaze actually gets that frag, so good trade by him. Probably shouldn't have got that, but gets it anyways, so great play. But overall, even Uber charges, and wow, that was a big dep by Habib. Garbugli and Marmaloo Gross both going down totally changes the way this fight was about to play out.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate series of events for Swift, and they do still have this Uber. Will they hero for it? They've got Delpo, their king, their best player. 044 is separated. He makes it back over to his scouts, and Shade pops early. But no, the stickies kill all the soldiers on Swift. Now this Uber is a terrible decision. And 404 is never going to make it out of those doors. Gets juggled all to hell. And now it's just welcome to the show, because Delpo falls too. And those boys will not be out on second.
No, it doesn't look like it at all. Oh man, they're just trying their best to get out on the second point. Some just ran out, but completely eaten alive by the froyotech players that are out here. And froyotech, you can tell they're already enemy team's lobby as they're still trying to cap this middle point. Eric is delaying this cap just so they can keep every single member of Swift in this forward spawn. Now they're all in there, all 6 players. They can't get out. They're being camped by froyotech. Now they can get these back spawns, and already Delpo tries to run out of last, but Habib's got those stickied up. So he's a little bit alone at this point, and that was maybe a mistake, but he got that downman frag 1 for 1, so not the end of the world by him, but still, froyotech gonna have a really easy time as they're about to push in the last.
Yeah, it was a good play from Delpo, though. I'm just sad no one else supported him, because they could have won this round, but now the Uber comes out. Slemish High Five will actually be the first to fall, but it doesn't matter. No one can block the point. Froyo finally gets the first round. A valiant effort from Swift.
It was a very back and forth round, actually. 18.5 minutes remaining in this half, so that one was pretty long. Over 10 minutes long for a round is longer than normal, I'd say, for a TF2 match, but we'll see now as we go into the second mid-fight. Delpo's getting here pretty early, but being bombed down by Side Guy. Watch out, Marmaloo grows pretty deep in, but he ends up just dying. High Five as well going down. These mids are not going in favor of Swift, as there are only 4 players left alive. Back on second. They're going to want to try to hold on to it if they can. Blaze is thrown way up high in the air, and 4-4 is very, very low, but it looks like he's going to live, and Blaze not so lucky, so froyotech are going to get the second point anyways, but Garbuglio is in behind, and he could be getting right on top of Shade. He's going to go through drop down instead.
Yeah, Garbuglio got kind of stuck in here. He was apart from the team at mid, and he's apart from the team after it. He tried to go for an underplay, it was a little too slow and got lit up, and then whatever Swift was trying to do on mid there just totally got busted. But it's only Habib on second right now. Everyone went back to deal with Garbuglio. ultimately, I don't think that makes too much of a difference. The biggest change it makes for SVIFT is they'll have a level 3 gun here.
And it goes down almost immediately as this push comes in. Slumber's up on Pyro as well, getting some flames down on a Banny. It's going to end up dying, but there's still a lot of froyotech players left alive, lurking in sewers, still jumping around as well. Guy's got that shotgun out, but ends up dying right after he takes over Delpo. So 4-on-4 fight at the moment, and it looks like froyotech are having to back off. Don't really like how that fight was going. Smart play by them, keeping 4 players alive. They're probably going to be able to hold on this lobby area.
Yeah, the Froyo knows how respawns work, and they knew Paddie was gonna, not Paddie, Marmaduke was gonna be back. I saw them talking about a young Paddie in the stream chat, so I had no choice. But so here goes Froyo falling back against this Uber. They're gonna throw Blaze and Slemnish as a trade out. I still don't know. They have Habib holding lower right or left, as the case may be, by himself. That would have been where I'd want to take the Uber, but they just couldn't know. He was watching the sticky trap. And they're going to let it even out here, which is bad news bears for SVIFT, because they're the ones that are down around and want to get out of this and back in play with Froyo.
I think they're just a little bit scared of froyotech at this point. I mean, they don't want to make any mistakes. They certainly don't want to be down 2-0, but ultimately you got to make some sort of a risky play at some point, because if you keep just giving froyotech opportunities, they're going to hit something eventually. Blaze bombs in, Eric at the same time taking down a water, so suddenly Swift have created a 2-man ad for themselves. We'll see if they can actually capitalize off of it. Froyotech, I think they're betting that they won't. But holding up top here, Shade is with his team. Swift are kind of coming up to meet him. We'll see if they want to pop. That's kind of the question. They're getting a lot of damage down on the side guy and High Five. Both end up trading out. So here comes the pop. But Shade is milking him for so much longer. And Marmaduke Grills just ends up dying as he's taken down by Banny. The Ubercharge again came out by Shade, but they're getting so many frags with it that I think it's totally fine. Garbuglio is barely going to survive, actually. Eric missing some shots on him, and that's going to allow him to stay alive at least for a little bit longer. There he goes. Finally, Banny cleans up, and big bomb by Blaze. Gets 2 players there, and that's going to be the end of this round, at least. Froyotech capping off this point, making it 2-0.
Yeah, basically what my reptile brain said there was if Slemnish dies here as they were backing up, then it's over, and he was unable to escape. They kind of overcommitted to that. They used the Uber pop to attempt to get frags, which is a viable strat, but they ended up not getting enough frags and forced the Uber way late.
Now we're in this third mid-fight. Swift hasn't won one yet, and they're going to be the first ones to lose a player in this as well. And they're getting completely clobbered on in big door. 3 players down. It's only the 2 soldiers and 404 left alive. They're still being chased out. Garbuglio eats a big rocket from Sagai, and now this is looking so bad. Delpo writes in chat, guys, it's not looking good. Here we see another big bomb by Blaze in on the enemy team's last. Doesn't get anything really, but Habib hits a nice pipe on a Slemnish. Still, Froyotech can't cap this last point off just yet. They're still capping the second. Banny's over there, but Eric's up on Spy, interestingly enough, and we still see Froyotech holding the second point. Swift on their last.
Yeah, Froyo is just absolutely dominant on mid. They're there earlier. Swift are a step and a half behind, and they really can't utilize their Delpo dominance there if the Froyo's already all over mid before they even come out of the door. Now, Eric is on Spy. We'll see what he chooses to do here. That's the play. I would normally go for a sack and Spy attempt combo.
Oh. Shade's actually gotten a bit of a force off onto himself. Well, he kind of ate some spam there and had a really poor Uber charge pop in. So maybe that's the bait play. I only kind of caught the end of it where Shade was getting a little bit juggled. So Delpo's got crazy good hearing or something as he hears the Spy down below him. I have to assume it's the hearing factor because he just focus fired the Spy down there. Maybe he's cheating. They're still pushing out though, and there's 2 Froyotech players fighting, and they could be getting on the last. Watch out for Saigai, because he's all over that point. They got the couple of frags they needed, and Swift aren't going to be able to make it back in time. Froyotech take the first half 3-0 in a very unfortunate back cap.
Yeah, and it was the rare pocket back cap too. So put that one in your Pokeball, because that you usually don't see that. Usually the pocket is kind of chained to the medic. And he would have been back in choke or big door with Shade backing out, but he saw his opportunity did the damage and then walked onto the point, and they weren't able to get back in time. So, what I would do now, Cornpop, in this in this halftime, Swift need to talk about what they need to do at mid to get there at the same time as Froyo, because right now they're trying to all go bottom, and that is the slow rollout. And what happens is they come out of bottom, and there are 3 Froyo players standing on mid, and there are 0 Swift players standing on mid, and that is a really tough nut to crack.
Yeah, they definitely got to change something up because, I mean, the first map, they were looking pretty good against froyotech. They won the first round. It was very close in the first half. Second half, they did let it slip to froyotech, but even still, it was going well for them for a little while. I mean, they were being pretty competitive, but they certainly don't seem too worried about it as they've already started off this next half, potentially the final half of ESEA Invite Season 26, as we're going into the second half of the second map. Froyotech, if they win this, they will be the champions of North America. Swift still have a long road ahead of them if they want to end in success coming up on this next mid-fight. Eric's already on the point. Big bomb by Blaze as well. Nobody down just yet. Garbuglio went up through drop down. Still we see Blaze eating a lot of damage. Very passive from both sides. Garbuglio going to be the first one just after Marmaloo grills even. So no soldiers on Swift. High Five might be a little bit too caught in now. He's kind of on the slower ground in a bit of a tough spot. But in this 1v1 with Banny, he's going to try to get this frag at least before he dies, but can't get it. Banny backs off and Habib gets those sticky frags. So 3 down on the side of Swift as they're already back on their last point. This is looking like more of the same, Marxist.
Yeah, and Banny writes, "You've been warned." Oh, the Crips comes in. Sundish will fall, but the Uber comes out in time. Marmaduke's running the shotgun now. He had not been previously, but Garbuglio falls. Shade will die, though, to High Five, and that may put a major hitch in things here. Banny's gonna run in a little bit. Marmaduke's still just trying to kill the whole world with his shotgun. He will get Saigai, but Eric hiding in the oldest spot in the book. Gonna run it this demo here. It's Delpo. He's undefended. Blaze is on the point. Will 404 fall? No! Eric is gonna fall to Slimnish's pistol, who secures a 2K. So they are now, Swift are now coming out to second and putting time on the point.
You know, Swift's had a pretty rough match so far, but Slunish has been doing really well for them. He's gotten a lot of frags that I've noticed so far, so it's good to see him at least stepping it up when maybe his team isn't quite doing all that they need to. At least get some sort of a frag for the frag book, but now it seems like it's going to be a uber advantage for 404, about 30%. Eric's up on Sniper, try to pull something off. He's looking at Big Door, and there's nobody there, so he's probably not going to be too big of a factor unless he changes his sights. All of Swift are over in choke, is now they're going to be running forward. Eric has shifted his positioning, looking at that Big Door. Takes a shot, but he's not going to actually get anything. 4-4 taking a lot of damage before he's pops off, and Slim's thrown way up in the air on the side of that Uber charge. Saigai does go down in Big Door now as they're still pushing across. Looks like froyotech's just kind of giving this up. Now they have 90% Uber charge though, so they could leapfrog this right back in the middle.
Well, they may eventually when they have a sufficient number of soldiers. SVIFT are going to make the play here, though. They're going to try to get this out. Now, it is a crit, so they're going to force this crits off. Great play to just push into the crits anyways, but they're going to end up losing too many people. Habib goes huge with this crits and gets many, many frag. And so now we're cursed here on SVIFT to run all the way back. Some respawns come up. Eric tries to get cheeky respawn frags. And now High Five is essentially baited by the sniper and will fall, and that's going to put them in a tough spot. But they, you don't want him to die there because now you've got full Uber ad. You want to get some frags, and it's going to be impossible.
Yeah, they're getting absolutely nothing with the supercharge. They got the point, but otherwise, Shade's already at 90%, so they're going to be able to take it right back. I guess I don't even think they ever even lost the point, but so they got some positioning, I suppose. Here comes the crits. It actually isn't beautifully sniped on a 4-4. Great job by Habib. And now we see the shotgun crits out by Saigai. That worked a little bit less good. Stelpo gets him with some stickies, but still big crit play. They're going to have Uber advantage as long as Shay doesn't die. And we see the rest of Swift are just kind of scattered all over the place. High Five does get a frag and a Blaze, which is nice, but there's still only 3 players alive on Swift. You can tell they're all just running out through Big Door. Don't want any part of this froyotech aggression. They're going to be able to cap this middle point off and keep rolling forward with this crit ad.
Yeah, my brain screwed up who held mid, but It doesn't matter. Froyo is going to be the holders of it now. And Crick's advantage will be in play. Oh, 4-4 takes a body shot. And it is now totally isolated. Nobody's being healed. He finally gets up top. But Froyo are feeding in now. Garbuglio is going to collapse along with Slemnish and High Five. And they'll secure frags. 2 players down for Froyo. We'll see what they do here. Pushing is the right decision. But there is an Uber.
Yeah, Shade and Panny are hiding in the bush, and nobody's checking them. Oh no, this could be really bad. They're gonna be coming up elbow, and they popped off their crit streak, looking for some frags. Looks like Habib's gonna get high five. Ended up trading there, and Banny's hitting none of his shots that he needs to. Marmaloo Grills ends up getting that frag, and there's a big bomb in by the soldiers of froyotech. Saigai very low, doesn't quite make it out. Shade is in drop down now, kind of just lost. There's no way he makes that here alive. He's got the pan out. They've become friendly. They're gonna have a melee battle. Shade and Garbuglio. Shade's actually winning it, so Garbuglio's gonna have to eat some health. And now Eric's coming in to save his medic. Shade with the pan gets the frag on a Garbuglio. Eats a Delpo pipe by the end of it, but at least we got some good frags out of it. Marxist. Shade's he can put that in a frag video at the very least. Delpo's gonna get taken down. And froyotech can kneel it on this mid fight. Some very funny stuff happening though on mid.
I mean, there are times to be honorable in life, Cornpop. I would say the finals of the ESEA are not one of them. Garbuglio should have just blasted him with a rocket and been done with it. But yeah, so there it goes. Delpo, I hit Shade 80 and he doesn't die after purple is on the floor for 20 seconds. Yeah, that's the Delpo life right now. So they are doomed to be back here. Slemnish is gonna die out on mid. Basically stuck out there anyhow. Garbuglio's going for those sniper plays, try to get a pick to change the world. But I don't know if he'll be able to do it.
Yeah, he's looking at Big Door, and you can tell that froyotech are aware. Banny was kind of poking him. Saigai was maybe looking for it. Oh, they're doing it again. This time it's Shade and Blaze. Shade's not always up for it. They're still on this crit streak. It doesn't look like it. Swift aren't pushing anytime soon, so can't exactly hide in the bush in that situation. But we'll see what Swift want to do. It is crits versus Ubers, so they do technically have a bit of an advantage. Garbuglio and Banny gonna end up trading out just over near Big Door. Not quite sure how that happened, but still 5-on-5 means nobody can really work with anything unless Swift want to go with his Ubercharge, and I kind of like to see them doing that. Everybody on froyotech is really near this Big Door, so they could pop forward, maybe get that frag. I mean, it's invincible players versus non-invincible players, Marxist. You'd think they'd want to go.
Yeah, the trouble is they're really loading this, and they can't get any frags. They're pushed out here. So now everyone's attention is turned to Big Door, but no, the crits does not come in. I mean, that was the ideal time. They're coming out now, though, and Slemnish is going to fall. Will anyone else die to the crits? Delpo does. That may be the kiss of death here for SVIFT, especially because they have not capped mid, and as a result, I don't think they ever could. That's not a criticism, but as a result, their timing is bad on the spawns. Garbuglio will fall. Will this 1v many be countered, however? Yeah, Banny will die, actually. And Shade is going to be stuck way out there. Eric is going to try and pyro stuff for the lulz. But secure no frags.
404 is really out of position. There comes a bombing soldier out with the shotgun. Saigai right before he dies, and he gets the skill stick on a Marmaloo Grills. Dies for his troubles, but still great play by the pocket soldier there. I love seeing the secondaries and melees coming out in games like this. Still some shenanigans happening over this choke, and Garbuglio actually perfectly timed onto the players. Not that perfect, I guess. Taken down by the Banny Scout and some flames. So only 2 players really here for Swift, kind of running all over the place. froyotech slowly but surely grinding themselves away. Slemnish over on middle isn't a 1v2 against a couple of soldiers. Still just sort of running around causing a nuisance. There he goes, Blaze frag onto him. Swift are officially on their last, and froyotech looking to make it a 4-0 scoreline.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have a solid shot here. 4-4 is on crits, so that may come into play here towards the end of the affair, because he's going to have, assuming he doesn't die instantly when this crits gets popped, he'll have it. And
they popped off. We see like 4-4s pretty passively, and Habib actually died immediately to Delpo's stickies, so I think he's gonna have it. There he goes, does have that uber charge. And Froyotech recognizing that this is not gonna work out for them, especially with that pyro up with Eric. Swift are going to be able to push out of their last point. Attempting at it now. We'll see if Froyotech lets them. It is a full Uber ad push, but they lose Delpo, and Banny is just getting so aggressive. I see it was a crits on the side of Swift. A lot of crits happening in this game. They lose high five as well, and Marxist, this could be the end. There goes Slemnish as well. Only 3 Swift players left alive in 10 seconds still on high five, and Slemnish respawns. Blaze spawn forward, and the Pyro's doing a lot of damage, just pushing forward this flame. W on one, and it's a 4-0 game, and Froyotech are looking like they might be the next ESEA Invite champions.
Well, and it looks like they may be the best team to have ever played ESEA as well, because Swift is not securing the requisite number of rounds. So here we go, potentially the final round, Season 26.
Swift getting aggressive with their soldiers, gonna pay for that as Garbuglio getting taken down by Banny. The rest of Swift are completely passive over in their big door. Stunmish predicting the movement of Blaze, ends up getting that 1v1 frag against him, but Eric cleans up on his soldiers' mistakes as he's still fighting over this big door. Focusing down 4-4, is he gonna get it? No, he's not. I5 hits him with that body shot, no scope sniper, and Sagai gets the frag on a Delpo over near big door as well, so 4-on-4 at the moment. I mean, they kind of gave up that middle point for the crits Krieg. Here it comes now, and Marmaloo Grills is not hitting what he needs to be hitting. Dies to some stickies of Habib, and that's going to be pretty much the end. Shade and Sagai are now wrapping around, and they're getting everybody. Garbuglio and Slemnish all going down to this crits Krieg. There goes high five as well. Big crits play by the pocket soldier of Froyotech, and this is probably spelling the end. Only 4-on-4 at Delpo alive. If anybody can do it, it's these two, but I don't think it's going to happen against Froyotech.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough ask here. And Shade, no crits to speak of. And we'll see. It basically here, yeah, Garbuglio is pulling out that direct hit. Maybe something comedic will occur, but for the most part, it looks like Swift are done here. And Froyo is ready to collect their paycheck.
They got one more last push they gotta secure. 100% crits on Shade. He pops it off, and what are they even doing? They're finally shooting into last. There's nobody really to shoot, though. Blaze died to that direct hit. Finally, to get Delpo. High five going down as well as Banny. 4-4 is really far forward with Marmaloo Grills. Marmaloo Grills is just taking so much damage, and 4-4 falls to his death as Sagai gets credit for that one. I thought somebody should save his medic there, but not quite. Banny peeks in, gets that scout frag, and Garbuglio, this lone survivor, ends up dying to the shotgun of Eric, who's playing engineer. Just noticed that. Froyotech win 5-0 in the second map, and they are going to be your ESEA Invite Season 26 champions. Bit of a one-sided game for the second map.
Yeah, unfortunate, but Swift their mids were abysmal on this map, and it's unfortunate because they have a player that could have really changed things up here, but just did not happen, and that pretty much took the wind completely out of their sails. And anyhow, congratulations to Froyo. Another victory for them. Another great payday. Hopefully they spend it well. And we look forward to seeing them next season.
So we're going to hand it over to our analyst desk. I'm not sure if they'll have a whole lot to say about that match, but it was a game, and yeah, I'm sure they'll have some wise words for us. So take it away, Jarrett. What did you think of that match?
Well, the pace started about the same as it did on Process in terms of the first half was, it started like pretty slow, and then things started to pick up near the end. Although I'll say I thought Gullywash should be like slightly more on the stalemate side, but second half definitely went by. I mean, it wasn't that much quicker. It was maybe like 10-15 minutes quicker, but it felt like a lot quicker. Like this kind of, I don't know, it kind of felt like just a half-hour long match to me. Just because of, I don't know, it kind of felt like I was watching the same things happen over and over again with like either critses that wiped an entire team and you just kind of saw like the team's cap, or the critses would do nothing, and it would just lead into the same like back and forth pushes over and over again. But I'm actually kind of surprised that Swift didn't do as well on this map, especially because it's the map they picked. But I guess the strengths that they had weren't exactly strengths that they could use against Froyo in particular, so in the end they're not able to really get much out of this particular map. and that'll make Froyo the victors this time around.
Yeah, pretty much just relapsing what Jared said. We all thought before going into this map that Swift was going to take it, even like take this map entirely. That we knew that they were confident on this map. This is one of their better maps because of their aggressive playstyle, or because of their just DM and like playstyle. But unfortunately, Froyo just shut them down entirely. And like obviously in the second half, we saw sniper to mid, we saw some NG to last, we saw some memes. Unfortunately, not really much to talk to besides Froyo showing dominance in the first half and Swift kind of conceding.
Yeah, I mean, the game, if you watched, the story kind of tells itself. So, I mean, the biggest thing, I mean, Swift had moments of promise there. Like they had quite a few, like in the earlier stages of the map, good just like team fights where they just completely wiped the floor with Froyo. But in the end, they never could kind of follow through on those kind of good fights and get around off it. And so Froyo just managed to, they got 2 rounds. And I do think that it's interesting to mention that, they were confident on that map. I think that confidence in a lot of ways played to their ultimate demise on that map for a number of reasons. Mainly being, if you're confident on a map and you're losing it 2-0 at the start of the first half, you're not going to be feeling very good. And I definitely think that played a role for like all of Swift there. About halfway through that match, I could just sense that there was just like, I mean, Habib, I'm sure you guys caught this. Habib, he kills Garbuglio and he kills Marmaduke with a trap. He catches them, and then he kills them again with that same trap at the spawn. The same way. Like, those kinds of plays are hard to recover from, especially again if it's a map you're confident on. They probably went into that map thinking this is going to be close, we expect to win, so and it wasn't. And so I think as soon as it went 2-0, I think it was over at that point.
They're also just getting outclassed on the mids. There was at a point they didn't have a chance. They're just getting steamrolled, getting memed on. Unfortunately over. Guess they got the rounds on the map no one expected, but that's that.
I think that's about it. Gullywash was, pretty convincing. I think it's about time for interviews, yeah?
Seems like it. We've got Banny, Habib, Shade, and Saigai in our interview channel. So can you guys hear us? Are you okay? Oh no.
The tokens aren't set up. Oh no.
All right. Well, you know what? This is okay because we can still bring them in, and
Power of technology.
see, that's what I'm saying.
Magical.
Silver lining.
Now can you guys talk to us? I think you should be able to.
You guys got to come down to this channel.
Man. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. We're gonna.
Yeah, you
we're-
got to go
hold
up. You gotta...
I feel like this is
I'm-
more
I'm
complicated than it
fixing
needs to be.
I feel like it is too. I feel like I'm gonna talk to Nice a little bit, getting this more streamlined. But we're
Any,
good.
in production next season? What?
Sign up for TTV production, and maybe you can fix these issues. But hey, guys, congrats on your winning ESEA Invite Season 26.
Thank you, thank you.
Yawn.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously, since you're grand final victors, you're not going to have any regrets about what happened, but throwing back to before the match even starts, you're going through the map picking process, and you learn the maps are going to be Process, then Gully, and then Metalworks as a tiebreaker. How did you guys feel about that? Were you okay with that, or do you feel like it could have maybe even been an even better map list, or do you feel like that
I was
maybe
just
that's
happy
not the map
that
they
I
were
was
going
just
to
happy
choose?
we didn't have to play Metalworks. I knew we weren't going to have to, so that was nice.
Well, basically, we were happy with pretty much any map that wasn't Viaduct. We first banned Viaduct because it's just kind of an X Factor map, and they have a sniper strat with purple shirt body shotting everyone. So we just got rid of that, and then at that point, we were pretty confident on just about any map.
What I was gonna say is, Sai, your first invite win, like your first actual season 2026 invite win. How you feeling, man?
You know, Sandblast, I feel great. You know, it was a great day. Woke up at about, 6 a.m. Got out of bed, didn't have breakfast though. Had to catch the metro to work. A nice 8-hour shift. Got home, didn't even play TF2 before I even got in the grand finals. I was playing PUBG. You saw me playing PUBG. Got in the grand finals, easy 2-0. But I'd like to shout out to my mans, Benny, Shader Dude, Eric, Blaze.
Oh yeah.
It was a great grand finals, great experience. I hope to see you guys at RGB.
Oh my god.
Nice. I'm glad. So, what are you expecting? Obviously the new pocket for froyotech. Obviously, pretty excited. You just won your first ESEA invite title. What are you expecting? Great things going up to ESA and season 2027 and onwards. Like, what do you think? What do you think, Si?
Benny doesn't like me as a person, so I won't be attending ESA. But it was fun playing with him online.
What?
Thank you, Si. Great words from Si. I really appreciate it, man. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for you, Sai. Well, we've always been good pals. It's good to see you get that win. Fucking it up together. So in the first map, I wanted to ask you guys. There was a bit of struggling on your end. So what do you guys think that came down to? And I also, in particular, Benny, I wanted to ask, what in the heck was going through your mind when you decided to pick up that sentry and put it in the shutter?
Yeah,
What was your thought process there?
Just wanted to move the sentry so that
Yeah, but you put it down, opened the shutter, then picked it back up, and then reopened the shutter with the gun in hand.
I mean, I was trying to pull it back to last, but he got lucky and killed me. That's pretty much all there is to it. It was a calculated risk. Like, I also thought Habib was supporting me, and I didn't know it was trapped.
Banny,
and I
don't
don't
die.
know why
Do not
Marmaduke
die in
would
shutter,
ever
Banny.
open
Do
that
not
door
die
when
in
there's a
shutter.
sentry there. I don't know. But, yeah. After I died, apparently Habib died, so it all kind of fell apart, but
Well,
we could have afforded for me to die, but...
Garbuglio walked through
yeah.
my sticky trap that I detonated on, hit him for 120, and I got 2 rocketed. Gang shit.
Sounds like even after a win, there's still a bit of team turmoil going on.
There's no
here.
turmoil.
Looks
But
like
that was
Froyotech
kind of
is actually dead after this win.
that was kind of a, like, I don't know, just, yeah, that was a messy portion of the match for sure.
Everyone was kind of sick of banning after process, to be honest.
That's fair.
He just kept throwing, and it was just unbelievable.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Incorrect.
I'd rather get Sai's input on this.
Sizer?
I was watching we were behind the what's it called? Like that little pillar between, you know what I'm talking about. And I just see Danny open up the shutter, like, Danny, what the fuck are you doing? I was just like,
Yeah, there was a little bit of
and yeah, that was pretty it.
All right, that's good to hear. Congrats on the win, guys. Froyo still staying on top.
Yeah. Hope to stay there.
All right. Well, that was a good game, guys. I have a couple questions for you, just in terms of the team in general. First of all, and I feel like I've asked you this many times before, but what's the future for Froyotech? Are you guys obviously looking towards the next rewind, maybe?
Oh, I'm quitting.
Yeah, I won't be
Okay.
going either.
Yeah, ignore them.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna be hopefully going to the Rewind LAN, and I hope everyone else is planning on going. It should be a great event. We're just starting to get some info from the people organizing it. Hopefully, we'll get more of those details out for everyone to like fully commit and know what the competition is gonna look like. But I hope that we can get the same level of competition as last year, make it an international LAN, sort of a world championship type thing. We're going to be there, Froyotech in some form. That's a guarantee. And other than that, just trucking along next ESEA. Hopefully we'll, be in the grand finals. But, that's another season away. We'll worry about that when it comes. And for everyone else, I just hope that we make another good season. Make sure to
yet, but for this season of ESEA, we're trying our best to put newbies together with the coach and, pay their way if they
know if we're back online console if we ever can good. Fix X. Does that mean we're good? Fixed. Awesome. Well.
All right, sweet.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I mean, we basically did everything. Newbie mixed drives. Go check it out on Team Fortress TV. I'm not quite sure where we cut out on that, but either way, make sure you go see that from Jarrett's plug. Pretty much done, but you want to do some shout outs? We'll start at the top of the list. Banny, any shout outs?
Just thanks again for playing, or for casting and for my teammates for sticking through, not turning into a complete joke. Also, shout out to SWIFT for the same thing, because previous seasons have had some strange grand finals, so I'm glad this one was at least,
shout out to Shunik.
semi-serious, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Just thanks to everyone who's still caring about competitive TF2.
Habib, any more shout outs after that one?
Oh shit, I didn't think that. Yeah, shout outs to you guys first of all. Shout outs to the analyzers. Shout outs to the camera guy, and shout outs to Mix Up Platinum. Yeah.
Wonderful. Jarrett, you want to have any shout outs?
shout out to Kenzie and the rest of Velocity Esports, and shout out to all the people that are helping some way in doing the new mixed drive this season.
Marmaloo?
Shout out to Velocity and TF2.
Paddie?
Yeah, shout out to shut up. Yeah, just shout out to everyone who tuned in to watch. Shout out to everyone, all the teams and the players. It's great that we just keep having, our ESEA seasons and our games being cast and all that. Shout out to R5, 6Cuties. Shout out to Ascent Esports. Yeah, that's about it.
Sandblast?
Shout out to I guess probably my main shout out to Faint Gaming from season 25 helping us out, giving us a pretty sick season, coming back next season. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Shade?
Shout out to Mr. Steal Your Girl, Cars 677, Crazy Cow, Craft Dinner Kid, JJ Jones, Random Cookie 12, Southside 00, Blued, Nordic Berserker, Valve Customer Service, Jellyton, Dan Joa, Crazy Mush, Archduke, Sir Why Not, Mantis 3142, Jellyton. I was born unskilled. Shout out to Chad with several A's. Shout out to Carlos the Clam, Coke TF. Shout out to my boy Ruthless 726. Shout out to What the Fructose, XX Music Man, XX Mantis. I already shouted you out, so I'm going to move on to Psychologically Stable Man. Shout out to Polyphobia. Shout out to Metna.
All right, and I hate to do this, but Psy Guy, any more shoutouts?
Yeah, shout out to everyone on Swift. Coach, Kyle, Slim, Bread, Delpo, Carbuglio. Also shout out to Shade and Kairos, my favorite 2 players right now.
Awesome. So, Marxist, do you have any shoutouts? I kind of skipped over you.
No,
Shout out to It's Josh and to Snow Phoenix, and to my other boy Hobbed and Zodo Zan, also Pon and Room Rapper.
All right, and thanks to everybody for coming out here. It's been a great season, ESEA season 26. Shout out to everybody who's been involved in Team Fortress TV production this season. Anybody who's come out and watched and played in the games, we really appreciate it. Keeping the community going. My name's been Cornpop. And of course, with me tonight has been a whole bunch of people. We've just ran down their names. So we'll see you next season, I'm sure. ESEA season 27 and potentially a couple of us at Rewind. So stick around for that. I think Open Grand Finals are over. So go back and watch that stream if you didn't manage to watch it in the midst of this one. Again, my name's been Cornpop. We've been Marxist and Console have been the main guys on this cast. And we'll see you next season.